It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. My name is Heath, and this is Modeling Monday. We're going to start off tonight, as usual, by showing our list of compiled live streams and just sort of regular shows and all that kind of stuff. If you want to join the list and you don't see your name, feel free to send myself or John at Schuylkill River Valley, or just send somebody an email. Say hello, and we'll see about getting you added. I do have a poll going. The poll tonight is, do you have any smart features for your railroad? So far, we're at about 89% no and about 11% yes. So we'll see how that progresses as the night goes on. But let's check in and see who's here for a little bit. April from AB Design is here. We have Andy Estep in the house. Real quick aside, AB Design, that's the April is the person that designed my logo. So if you like this logo, April's the one to thank. Andy's Steps in the house. Tim from CP368 Productions is here. We've got Dragon Lover 68 joining us. Dwight Curley as well. JD Grandpa Rails is in the house. Jerry Satz as well. My dad, Lauren Hurwitz, is here. Ken Amos Jr. popping in as well. Lynn McCurdy joining us. Marty from M&M Short Lines. We got Mr. Jimbo Trains. We've got Art from PDR Engineer. I always get that confused, the amount of R's in there. We got Ray Ron VR. We got Roy Elpham joining us. We've got Steve87 PSAP. Pappy from Trigoglin is here. I saw Jason the Train Freak, but he seems to have disappeared, but maybe he'll be back in a couple minutes. But tonight I thought we'd take a little bit of time. Everything these days is based around my work on the studio. So I've been doing some more work on the studio. Today was a lot of sort of tinkering with, pushing buttons, smart stuff. Smart stuff I really enjoy. I have a lot of fun with it. I know not everybody does love it, though. I did change the name. I use the Amazon device that starts with an A. But instead of saying that name over and over again, because I know that'll trigger other people should they have them, I changed the name to Echo tonight. So, for example, if I say Echo, turn off the back wall, the lights in the back should have gone off, and of course they didn't. Wouldn't it have been great if that actually worked? Echo, turn off the back wall. There we go. Echo, turn on the back wall. So we'll go through all the different sort of things that I have smart deviced up here. But before we get to that, why don't we say hello to a couple people that have infiltrated the. So I'm reading some of the private chat, and it was sort of funny, but it works great when it works. I think part of the problem was I started talking right after the command, and I think I confused it by talking right away. But let's say hello to and I'll bring everybody up, and then we can say hello to people one at a time as we go. But tonight, Roy Elpham's joining us, Lynn McCurdy's joining us, Jason the Train Freak is joining us, and we also have Andrew, who I like to refer to as Mr. Hot Dog, but he sometimes goes by Mr. Pictovid as well. Roy, why don't we start with you? What are you up to tonight?
Well, mostly just sharing my layout progress. At some point tonight, when there's a gap, I can pick up the camera and show you the work I've been doing.
Oh, I'm sure there will be gaps. That is one thing that is pretty much guaranteed around here.
But I did get my camera set up. You can see the couple trains running there.
Yeah, I do see trains running. Oh, you have 3 cameras going.
Yep.
Oh, I like that you did the nice long camera on the bottom to get that. You cropped that. That was kind of fancy there.
I got it like really close to the track and then just cropped it so that you can just see the train going by.
I must say, what confuses me is seeing you without a beard. It throws me off every time.
I have a little bit of one. It just, takes a while to grow back.
Yes, exactly. Andy saying, is there an echo in here? And of course, now my echo is on, wondering what the heck I want it to do because I said echo. Lynn McCurdy, what's happening out there in California land?
Well, you saw some of the pictures over the weekend. I dug out my vintage 1958 horse trailer, and my son drug it over here. Actually, it was in good shape. It's been sitting for almost 2 years. And we unloaded a couple of crates with modules, which will be in the show this weekend, setting up Friday night for Saturday and Sunday. Most people don't know of it, but it'll be up in a town called Tehachapi. Well known in California as the Tehachapi Loop. It's where the train coming from the San Joaquin Valley, Bakersfield and such, over into the Antelope Valley, Mojave and everything, climbs up. And the daughter of an engineer came up with the idea of making the train go up over the top of itself. And it's been doing this since the early 1900s and working as of today. Anyway, that's what's up.
When you said you unburied your horse trailer, what was it buried under?
Well, property is either open space or limited space. And I had it over at a friend's house that has an AC heating business, and he's busy right now with the heat and all. And so when he comes back from working in Los Angeles or Hollywood or wherever, he brings his old air conditioning units and everything and just brings them in and dumps them in the driveway.
Oh, that's nice.
My son and I spent a good 30 minutes or so moving some pretty heavy, others just sharp edges and so forth, but we had gloves, all these units out, and shoveling sand away from the wheels because it's been there and the wind blows and it is the desert. But the tires were good, surprisingly, and we got it out, no problem.
So normally, I think the Train Freak has all the animals, but I noticed that the Train Freak is muted right now. So I'm guessing the person that's got the animals going on has to be Roy.
That is true.
Which animal cars do you have over there?
I currently have the hog one and the sheep one on the tracks. I
Is
also
it
have
the BLI stuff, or is it
yeah, it's the Broadway Limiteds. They did a whole bunch of refurbished ones recently, so I've got 4 of them. I've got all 4 different sounds: the chicken sounds, the cattle sounds, the hog sounds, and the sheep sounds.
That was the mistake I made. Somehow I ended up with 2 chickens and a sheep, and I didn't get a hog. So of course now I need to go shopping again at some point. But
Yeah, there's a bunch of them on eBay still.
they sound really good, though. I gotta say.
I turn them all the way down to the lowest setting of volume, and they're still like really loud.
That's
After a little bit, I'm just going to go turn them off.
I'm getting very distracted because I don't think I've ever seen Jason doing work before. So
yeah, this is crazy.
I'm very like I don't even know what to say about it. It's like he's got the belt, he's got the whole the whole outfit as if he knows what he's doing.
Looks like a professional.
Right, he's got all the tools and everything.
I feel like I should
Professional
be
what
sitting in my
is the
garage,
question?
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Here it comes to snipe at us.
So Jason, what the heck are you building back there? Oh, look, he's got his YouTube on. I could hear it echoing.
Yeah, I got it. Well, it's because I don't have the headphones in, but just to let you know, this thing comes in handy. Because then you don't put a drill down and then you got to go find it later. So,
Does it keep your pants up too?
no. No, they'll still fall down.
Yeah, it probably helps pull them down with all the weight.
Heath Stream's going to get flagged tonight for indecency.
Probably. So Jason says he's building bench work and making a lot of racket. So we'll now he left his microphone in the middle of his screen. So we'll have to keep like trying to knock it out of the way as he does stuff. Yeah.
Wait till he fires up a power saw.
Yeah. I'm afraid to see Jason with a saw. We don't know what might happen.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch out for the stream in case he moons us accidentally.
I want a chop saw. That's one tool that I wish I had, is a chop saw.
I think that would
So,
make
Mr.
a lot of dust in your room there, Heath.
Yes, it would. And that is when I cut these. I actually have some pictures of me cutting these. I took a cardboard box and I took it all. I'm muting Roy. It didn't take. It's usually takes Steve Childers a little bit longer to get muted, but didn't take Roy very long. When I made these, I got a cardboard box and I took the piece of wood outside to the park, and I used the cardboard box as my table because I could just like cut right through the cardboard box as my table, and I didn't have to worry about it. And it worked out pretty well. These are probably some of the squarest cuts I've ever made. And it was done with a trim saw and a cardboard box. But yeah, I wish I had a chop saw. So, Mr. Hot Dog, what are you up to these days?
Oh, I don't know. I was scrambling around trying to find my stuff to plug in to join you because it's been several months since I did anything live.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
Are you getting back to it now, or is it?
I think September 18th, Sean and I are going to come back with our large-scale consolidated live, and this coming Sunday I might actually do a live stream running on my layout because I've had a few people that keep asking me when I'm going to do it, so might as well while the weather's still good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, the weather here has been gorgeous. I'm guessing it's probably about the same where you are, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I have a chop saw with a 2-inch blade. Is that really? Oh, you have the little micro chop saw. I think Martin's got. But yeah, I would love all those little micro tools also. But while we're talking to Andrew, I don't know if you saw this the other day, but I've got the G scale train going up there, and that's. I don't know yet that this is a wise idea.
I thought you said it was gone. It's sitting there.
It's sitting there. I'm about to make it go.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if what I'm about to do is a wise long-term decision, but it works. Echo, turn on LGB. So I've actually got a bunch of the train stuff all on smart plugs, and I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea or not in the long term, because I'm a little bit afraid of it like turning on its own at some point. But yeah, it's set up. So I've got Echo turn off LGB. So I've got that on the smart plug. I also
Nice.
have Echo turn on Z scale, which I don't know if you can see it in the background or not. Echo, turn on softbox left. So I've got lighting and I've got train stuff. I've got my air filter. I've got, I can change the color of the lights. I also have what I'm calling the display track is Echo turn on display. I don't have any strobes going.
Can you use Echo to mute Steve?
I don't know. That would be fun to figure out though. And it didn't turn on. Echo, turn on display. There we go. It turned on this time. One thing I did, Echo, turn off softbox left. So one of the things I just did too is, if you notice, that shelf is actually a little bit more lit up right now. Echo, set. The hardest part is remembering everything that I just did, because I've got a piece of paper here, but I can't ever remember anything. Echo, set shelf light. And I can't talk, which doesn't help either. Echo, set shelf light at 50%. So I now have light under there, which is pretty cool too, because then it kind of breaks
Very
up
nice.
the shelf light, and you can see it a little better. I do actually have the lighting, and the actual like control of it is on two separate switches, or two separate devices, I guess. A lot of the stuff I've got controlled on smart plugs. So like the train and the trolley track, the LGB stuff up there. These softbox lights are actually on smart switches, but then some of the lighting is actually just like it just sort of works. I don't really know how to explain it. It just sort of syncs you add the skills to Alexa, and it just sort of works. And I don't know, I mean, it's fun for me. Jerry says, sorry, it's easier to flip switches. So yes, it's easier to flip switches until you get to kind of where like you set up scenes. And I haven't set them up yet. But like, you can say Alexa, or no, sorry, I said the A word. Echo, turn off studio lights. And instead of having to like turn every light off separately, it just turns off everything. So yes, in a lot of cases, switches are easier. But like the other thing that you can't do with switches would be like Echo, turn on back wall. Echo, set back wall to red. Like you can't do that with switches. I could do that through like my iPhone by like picking it up and like pushing. Yes, it's the modern day clapper. If we can get a hack to voice, we can turn it all on. I don't trust any of the smart devices. So I do have. Jason, thanks. Mine just went off. I do have headphones on, so like anybody that's here in the chat with me that wants to try and be funny and turn stuff on and off on me, I'm wearing headphones, so you can say whatever you want, and it won't affect it. But
My friend Darren didn't do that, so I was turning his stuff on and off on the stream. I got
Yeah.
yelled at. He goes, "Don't do that. It'll listen to you." I said, "I know."
People all the time will do stuff say, Alexa, tell me a joke. And then, of course, now there's all these people out there that were like listening to the stream, like on their TV or whatever, and their Alexa's now telling them some, stupid joke or something like that. What were you gonna say, Lynn?
Can you change it from the word echo or Alexa to something else like Robert and go, or maybe something Albuquerque or something weird like that?
There's, I think, currently four words you can use. You can use Amazon, you can use Alexa, you can use Echo, and you can use computer. There is a new version coming out that you're going to be able to call it Ziggy. I've changed the voice from a woman's voice to a man's voice. They're supposedly going to be coming out with more voices as well. But
When you say computer, you have to say it with a Scottish accent.
oh, is that
It's
the
like
only way it'll
Scotty.
work?
Yeah. Computer.
When I worked at Chrysler, they had vehicles that had voice messages. Your door is ajar, and we always said that ajar was, and things like that. And there was a button in the glove box that you could push and flip from male to female. And the female was a lot more like, your door is ajar, rather than the guy going, hey, your door is ajar. So, and that was back in the 80s.
Yeah, I had a car that would say my door is ajar, and I always said, no, it's not, or I'd fall out of the car.
Yeah.
Even Jerry says the joke was lame. Will I use my lighting skills on a layout, simulate the full day-night cycle, etc.? Yes. The Alexa, keep saying that word. Echo, turn on display. The display lighting is RGB lighting, but it's not DCC controlled. I've got a DigiKeys DR4050, which you can set up to work with like a fast clock or just, DCC control it or whatever, and it'll do day to night changes and stuff like that. So I will be able to do that, not with these lights, but with other stuff. I feel like the Z scale is like whipping around.
Now the work light, the white light you have underneath, is that just the adhesive LED strips, or is that something different?
What's under the shelf is just these little.
Okay.
It's from GoV. GoV is a Chinese company, but they've got a lot of products out now. They're actually coming out with cameras and everything also. They started out with just lighting, but this is they're from GoV. I found that they do pretty well as far as dimming goes. Like you can see right now it's at 50% and it's not flickering. A lot of these lights will flicker at these lower levels. I mean, Echo, set shelf light to 10%. It can go down pretty low and not flicker. So I like that about these. The Echo, set back wall to blue. These lights don't do as well. Sometimes you get to certain... those are not GoV lights. Those are just some cheap floodlights I got off of Amazon. In the 80s, a friend of mine had a talking camera. It spoke pig in English. Does anybody remember something called Dragon Dictate? Way back in the day.
I do.
Yeah. It was like this very expensive software that would allow you to theoretically dictate your, text and stuff. I could never get it to work right.
Didn't the name change like Dragon Naturally Speaking or something like that?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, it did.
IBM did it.
IBM bought Dragon Dictate. I didn't know that.
Yeah. At least they did a long time ago. I don't know if they still have it.
Well, IBM just does servers now. They don't do any They don't really do anything else from what I know. So just checking the poll again. Looks like the yeses have gone up to 16%. So we've got a couple more people admitting that they're as much of a geek as I am. But we still have I am the smart device winning by 49%, and the no's right behind it at 35%. So we're still at 84% people that don't use anything smart on their layout. Do any of you guys up here use anything smart on your layout?
I have my lighting all done on the smart stuff, but not the layout itself yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can just say, Echo, turn off the trains. And I don't know if you could hear it, but the Z scale stopped, and then you could see that the trolley and the light under the trolley went out behind me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Part of why I did it is that when I'm done streaming, I like the idea of just saying, turn everything off, and I lock the door and leave.
Yeah. I plan to have the whole power to the layout on a smart plug so that I can turn it off remotely. Because I plan to have long term have the trains running when I'm like at work and streaming it, similar to Jack.
Yeah, I have. It's obviously the T-Track stuff's not here yet, but I've got a smart plug that's already labeled layout, which I don't know where to put it so you can see it these days. But this says layout, and I'll eventually plug my DCC system for my T-Track into this.
Is that a
I
specific?
love the movie War Games. Good
Me too.
reference. Good reference.
Would you like to play a game?
So I do want to make Jason bigger because I'm really curious what the heck he's trying to figure out how to do right now.
I feel like I'm watching This Old House or something.
Yeah. Yankee Carpenter.
Yeah, but like Bob Vila actually knew what he was doing though.
So is this
I
more
feel like
like Tool Time with Tim Taylor?
Yeah. I think this was more Tool Time with Tim Taylor than it is This Old House. So do you think he can hear us now? Or do you think he's ignoring us? Or
He can hear us. He thumbs up.
I didn't realize that your Riceland was on the upper deck when you kept showing all those pictures.
Yeah, he's doing all upper deck first.
Yeah, I'm starting with the upper deck, and then I'll work my way down. So that way I can easily get up under it to do all the electronics.
But last time you did it the other way around.
It's called learning a lesson the hard way.
Sometimes it's the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You're doing it right, going top down.
Yeah. So, talked with the guy today about a backdrop, the Train Junkie. So, hopefully
nice.
I'll get that in. He's custom making me one. I went and actually took some pictures.
Cool.
At a rice field today, and he told me how to take them. So, I sent him about 20 pics. Hopefully he'll be able to stitch them together.
Now, didn't you bought backgrounds from him already once and put them up? You
Yes.
still have those, or did those get destroyed when you had to take down your layout?
Yes and no. A little bit of it got destroyed, and that was, from the plaster that was attached to it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's mostly still usable, but it's not tall enough for this layout. That last one was only 14 and a half inches tall, and this one is going 18 inches.
So you've grown since the last layout you did.
I've grown.
Vertically or horizontally?
Both.
Yeah.
Mentally, he's grown.
Well, I don't know about that. That's debatable.
Are y'all catching much of a echo with the sound coming
Yeah.
through the TV?
Yeah, it is for some reason, which I don't understand because StreamYard's got. Do you have the echo thing turned on with StreamYard?
I probably don't have it enabled.
Usually it is by
Ah.
default.
All right, try that now.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mark from Eminem Rail says, "Dim lights and remove." He's trying to get me to say stuff to get me in trouble. But I do kind of love. There's something kind of fun to me about just being able to say like, "Echo, turn on the trains."
Yeah, I'm not going that far.
And everything just sort of goes. You can see the Z scale moving down there.
Yep.
Echo, set shelf light at 15%.
I was going to say with the Z scale down there, it's kind of a backwards forced perspective.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I know.
It looks like it's way farther away than it actually is.
It looked better with the previous light level on that shelf. You just made it a lot brighter, and it was.
Yeah, when I turn on Echo, turn on soft boxes.
Oh, there you go.
This is kind of so. This is my like if I'm gonna do something lighting. Echo, turn on ceiling lights. Echo, set ceiling light to white. Or don't. Echo, set ceiling light to white. There we go.
So for your
Yeah,
ceiling
now
lighting,
everything's much brighter.
are you just using like smart bulbs, or what are you using for the ceiling lights?
I can't hear you with the trains running. You got to speak up.
Is your name Dackman?
Echo, turn off LGB.
Hey, wait,
It's
you
the
can't
big
hear
trains
me.
are so darn loud.
Aren't you?
It's
wearing
only loud for you,
earbuds, though?
Heath.
Yeah. I'm. Well, I only have one in though. If I put the
Okay.
if I put the other one in, then I'd be able to hear you better. But so the reason I don't have both in though is because I'm afraid that something's gonna fall off, and if I have the headphones on, I won't hear them falling off. So that's why. Yeah, nothing's for sale. Well, maybe.
For the right price.
Yeah. How much you got? But I will like I guess at some point I gotta figure out like now I gotta get some more cameras, like set up a little camera on the Z scale. Maybe I can set a little camera up in this corner here, like shooting across, so that it picks up what's on the trolley track as well.
You could do what I did and crop a long, thin camera.
Yeah, I don't want to buy more webcams, and the other webcam that I have is a 720p webcam. What you're looking at now is a webcam that's up there. This camera here is a Canon camera. I've got another Canon camera that'll be set up on this contraption at some point.
So for the Canons, are you using a like a mirror box or something to capture them, or do they have a direct USB interface?
I have capture cards. I've got a Camlink 4K on the face camera, and then I've got a HD 60S Plus for this camera. And the reason I've got the 6 Plus on this camera is because I've got a monitor on the output of it so that I can see what this camera sees. And what's really bothering me right now, that's not bothering anybody else, I'm sure, is that this is not straight, and I don't know why it's not straight, but it's bothering me.
Have you? I know I'd asked you before, Heath, and I can't remember, but have you ever, for like your secondary cameras, Ned, have you ever, tried using IP cams before?
And that's what Rayron is mentioning as well. The amount of delay on the IP cameras, it it's a lot. You know, they're okay for secondary cameras, like for your outdoor layout. You know, I think they'd be great because you can set them up and just leave them set up and get some. I've got two Amcrest cameras. I've got just a like a fixed camera like the one you just held up, and then I've got a pan tilt Amcrest camera that I used to use on just on jobs as like you know, confidence camera stuff. But I just feel like there's a lot of delay. Like right now, like if I went to this view here, where you could see, you know, where you could just kind of catch the train out. Well, I guess you can't catch the train out of the corner, but the delay between like me like moving, like in the two pictures, you can see like they're really lined up.
Yeah.
If that was an IP camera, there'd probably be like 2 to 3 seconds difference
Okay.
between the two. So it's, you know, it's definitely possible. Not for really what I want to do. And this is really bothering me. I can't, like, it's so funny. It's like, it's no big deal. It's just not. Oh, I know why. Sorry, my OCD's kicking in. Now it's level.
When does it not kick in, Heath?
That's a great question.
Probably when you're sleeping. Or are you an OCD dreamer?
No. In general, I don't dream unless I have nightmares. But I only have nightmares if I forget to take my medicine. So as long as I take my medicine, I don't have nightmares. So, did I take my medicine today?
Is this a
I don't
nightmare?
remember. Yeah, this could be the nightmare right now. Heath, I know you said it before, but what is the size of the room? It's 9 feet this way and 8 feet this way. So if you need to change your mind, you have to leave the room.
What's
My
what's
walk-in
on the
closet
table right
is
behind you,
bigger.
Heath?
I'm sure your walk-in closet is bigger. Sorry, what were you saying, Andrew?
What's right behind you sitting on the table there?
Oh, so this is my gimbal. I was
okay.
What I've been doing on some of my streams is I'll connect my iPhone via NDI to my to OBS, and then I can kind of walk around and show people close-ups. So if somebody was, you know, someone says, "Oh, like you know, show me the Z-scale layout or something," I would probably do it using that right now, just because I don't have this camera set up. The plan eventually is, I don't. Oh, you know what I could set up? What I don't have set up is this. Ow! I could set this up on this shooting across. The GoPro Hero 5 works pretty well. I use it with a capture card. The problem is when it goes to sleep or when you want to turn it on and off, you have to like physically turn it on and off. So I had set it up as this overhead camera and then realized I can't get to it to turn it on. So that we changed that. But yeah, so I have this camera, but what I was going to say is this I'll have an arm on, and the idea is people watch. I have a gimbal and don't like it at all. Why don't you like it, Trigoglin? Which one do you have? My mind, KNR Rich says, my mind never shuts off. I never feel like I fall asleep, but 3 hours zips by. Yeah, that happens sometimes when I watch TV. The last dream I had, I was dating Alexandra Daddario. I don't know who that is.
No idea either.
Steve, if you lived in New York, I would rent your master closet. So, yeah, I'm curious what gimbal you have, Tri Goblin. Lynn,
Yes.
did you get yours working?
I can turn it on. I did it a minute ago. If I can get it to fire up again, oh, there it goes. Hi.
There we go.
This is my old broken camera, as you can see on the screen. This is the one that quit on me when on a trip up to Montana, but I've been playing with it. My new phone has one of those weird button things on the back.
Oh, those pop things or whatever they're called? Yeah.
And it won't stay in place. It keeps popping out.
Yes, it will not stay.
I have, oops, still attached. I have used my 4, which I have a camera car, a railroad car that this slides into and takes video. So like you're looking out the window of a passenger car. And it improved. But this weekend, I'm going to give this a try and see how it works. I haven't mastered everything with it. First time I turned it on, it almost jumped out of my hand. I didn't realize it had that much power. But it's kind of interesting. But yeah, it works. Kind of, sort of.
Would you have to pay for your gimbal, Lynn?
Secondhand, but it came in the box, everything just like it was new, and $30 and $10 in shipping.
Oh,
So $40.
that's kind of hard to beat.
And I found a YouTube from the company. It's written on here someplace who made it.
It's the same company as this one. It's ZHIYUN.
Oh, okay.
It's the same company as this one, but it's like, I think, a generation or so before this.
Yeah, this is a 2. You probably have a 3 or a 10 or
3.
something.
The 3 or a 3S or something like that.
But it's fun to play with. I like it when
Yeah.
it goes to sleep. It's kind of like us
This
when
one-
we go to sleep. Yeah.
This one was only $80. I mean, the price on these things have dropped, and for $80, it does a good enough job.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not this, right? I mean, it's not this kind of rig, but
No.
yeah, the idea eventually is that this rig will, like, I can use it on the layout, or I can spin it around and do stuff on the desk, so that I can kind of just have one camera that'll move around. But I still need to figure the set out.
This thing,
better.
the instruction book is very detailed, and the print is so small it just looks like a straight line. But
Yeah.
the video is really good because the guy explains. You can stop, back up. By the way, did you see what I was focusing on while you were talking?
It's like, oh, you've got the Back to the Future car going.
The DeLorean is out. Yes, I had it running for a little bit, but the front truck on the steam engine kept jumping on one of the turnouts, so I just parked it.
So I don't have it set up to run my cameras, but I can't reach the power switch on my face cam. So I do have it set up where I can turn on and off my face camera. So I don't have to keep trying to fight back there to get it. The DJI and the DJI app are very... So this ZHIYUN company is kind of like just a step down from the DJI stuff, but the price is like a much bigger drop. So you get like 80% of the DJI at like 60% of the price.
It's kind of like GoPro. I've got some GoPro knockoffs that the prices just fell within a year or two. And you can get them. The shipping costs more than the GoPros do now.
Right. Yeah, I have a GoPro 9, and if you notice, it's nowhere around. I don't know. I mean, I like what Sparky does with the GoPro 9. I think would be great. I just don't have a layout to do that kind of thing. But like, that's a great use for a GoPro.
On the club website, I do most of the videos. And we have one from the Los Angeles County Fairplex a few years back for the Great Train Expo. and I had it on a flat car, and then had the iPhone 7 on another car following it. So the videos, you get one video, you're looking straight ahead, you see the engine, the cars, and all this stuff, and the other one, you see all the scenery and everything on the side, which gave kind of a interesting perspective.
Yeah, I haven't heard of this brand that Pappy's talking about, a Hohem. I'm not familiar with that one. Oh, Grandpa Rail says that's the one he has. So there you go. Yeah, this company also makes a Weeble S, which is kind of like the Ronin, and I could fly this this camera on it, like it can handle that weight. But oh, look at that! Container Man coming in with the good idea that I didn't even think of. That's the trick right there. You got to get the GoPro mounted on the LGB train. Echo, turn on LGB.
Actually, I have just what you need for the LGB, Heath.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, give me
Is
one
it a
second.
track cleaning car? Because I need a track cleaning car. What I'm doing over here is I'm going to try and get this GoPro 5 working, so that maybe we can get a little close-up of the Z scale with the with this display track in the background.
It's interesting that you said you need a cleaning car for your LGB. I have a small set, another eBay deal. Got it for a whole 5 cents, $30 shipping, but 5 cents for the whole thing: the track, the power pack, engine, a couple cards, caboose, and 2 figures. And I usually bring it out for the holidays, set it up on the floor, runs around the table with HO and N scale. I have all those, and I've never cleaned the track. I just put it together, put it on the floor, hardwood floor, not carpet, and the thing just takes off and goes. It'll go for, usually October through December, works just fine. I never cleaned the track.
This track, I packed it. This track was so dirty, I had to use a Scotch-Brite and literally take the top surface of it off before it would do anything conductive. It was just so, it was basically black. It was no longer even brass. That's how dark it was.
I'm
And I
assuming
think it was outside.
Oh, okay. Was it new, or like my stuff is all secondhand?
No, it was new at one point. It was not new when I got it. My dad had it on his back porch for a couple years, I think. So it was, just out in the elements, and
I
needed
wonder
to
if
be
he
cleaned.
cleaned it with something a little abrasive and it pitted the track.
Oh, really?
That will destroy your track because it'll never stay clean after that.
The Scotch-Brite works pretty well because it's like abrasive, but it's not abrasive. If that makes sense.
Yes, and we don't use them, or the club, that is.
Yeah, I wouldn't use them on anything but the G scale track. I'm actually curious now that Andrew's here. What should have I used on the track?
Did you say you use Scotch-Brite?
I think that's what it's called. It's like there's different grades of it, and I use the ultra fine, which is supposedly gentler than steel wool.
I use either the red or the green Scotch-Brite.
I got the red because it was the least aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I use. That's what a lot of us use to clean our track, especially outside. I need to upgrade from using a drywall sanding pole, though, to actually putting it on a car and just running it around to clean it.
Well, and that's being with it so high up there. That's kind of why I feel like I just want to put a Scotch-Brite pad on a weight and just drag it around, figure out a way to keep it sort of on the track.
That's part of what this car is supposed to do. I actually picked this up at a show here the other month. As you can see, it's actually got a mount on there for your camera. And since you're running LGB with the hook and loop, that just hangs through the loop on one of your cars. You can either push or tow your camera around, but the set screws come out, as you can see. And this centerpiece will actually pull out, and what you can do is probably take like a piece of 2x4 or something and cut it to fit in there and just wrap your Scotch-Brite around it and put 2 holes to mount it in there to hold it. You can just drag this car around and it'll pull the Scotch-Brite along the track and clean it for you.
How much does something like that cost?
The guy at the show actually made these, and I think I paid $40 for this. I mean, it's just
That's not bad.
anodized aluminum. Yeah,
That's a good
Yeah.
price.
That's not bad at all.
no. I haven't even had a chance to use it yet. I said it was just like a month ago. I think that
If you wanna ship it over to me, I'll take a look at it for you.
sure.
So I'm trying to get this camera working over here, but for whatever reason.
While you're trying to get your camera working, I'm going to do some research and see if they make dust monkeys for the large scale.
Oh,
Like
that's
what?
interesting.
You know what a dust monkey is?
No idea.
I don't have one. Probably there's one in this mess somewhere. Take a box car and it clips on one of the axles. It swings free, has a little felt pad. Even if you go in reverse, it won't hang up, and it just constantly drags on the track with your train. And when it gets, they're pretty cheap. You get like 5 of them, something like that, in a pack for $10. And when they completely wear out, you just throw it in the trash, and there you got them.
They look like this.
They look like that.
This is the N scale version.
And I got everything I have
in your
seen.
track, or
They just sort of drag underneath the boxcar, and you could either put cleaning fluid on them or leave them dry, or you could run one car wet and follow
One
it up
dry.
with one car dry.
One tip, if you haven't found out already, when you go to put them on your box car, wear in the part that goes around the axle. Otherwise, they'll stick sometimes and they're not doing the job they're supposed to.
Say it one more time. Put them on the part with the axle.
Okay, where it clips on the axle of a box car, whatever you're going to put it on,
Yeah.
you need to clean it out a little bit where it goes around the axle so it doesn't hang up. I noticed when I first used them, they would go until they hit something and then they would jump up and not touch the track. And you just work with it a little bit, put a little cleaning fluid, something on it, and then they work fine. But right out of the package, they might stick.
Looks like Jason has gotten inside of whatever his project is.
he's
He's
really
inside
getting
his
into his
work.
work, isn't he?
He's really taking that work seriously. Okay, USB video. Go to device.
I have a tool built that's similar to what he's using, but I carry it at the shows. I put a throttle in one, backup batteries in the other, trip pin pliers, all that sort of stuff in all the different pockets, and cell phones.
Yeah, for your thing. I may need to get myself one of those for my job next week. I gotta figure that part out. I don't know why this isn't working.
I have that level.
Everything indicates that this camera should be working right now.
I was going to say Jason almost didn't have the level, but he recovered quickly.
They're pretty stout. It's made out of aluminum. I use mine at shows when we're setting up the modules to get kind of a baseline of where the modules are going to meet and line up. And then we go through and fine adjust them using a laser.
I'm frustrated right now because I really want this camera to work, and 99% of the time it worked flawlessly, and I don't know what happened. It was working fine, and then all of a sudden it just kind of stopped. Okay, so the great debate: what liquid to use? What are your thoughts on mineral spirits? So
That's
I've
what I
got mineral
use.
spirits.
For cleaning track,
Yeah.
well,
See
I can
what
tell you for
other-
G scale, we don't most of the time use any liquids. Good old Scotch Brite.
Interesting. Yeah, I got CRC 226. I've got let me. I just realized I'm small. Yeah, I got that as well, Lynn. I've got the mineral spirits.
It's on the
I've got
grill.
the 226. What else do I got in here? Oh, I got the Noox ID, a special. I got Spray 77, although I don't use it for track cleaning very often. That was a joke. Don't use Spray 77 on your track.
I was going to use the 90 extra strength. Yeah.
You could use, I've got some dulling spray. You could probably use that on your track. You want to take the edge off a little bit.
Yeah, that's if you're using like the old steel Tyco track and you don't want it to rust.
Yeah, I've got all these things, and I don't, it's like, I don't know. And what's odd too is this train is running much better tonight, whereas last night just wouldn't work.
It must be because I'm here.
So I don't know what's going on. So people are talking about laser levels. What are we talking about a laser level to clean your track? Or did I miss something?
No. They use the levels to level the modules at shows.
Oh.
There's hardly a building that the floor is perfectly level. And a lot of the train shows are in warehouses or fairgrounds and things like that. And the floor is just horrendous. So the level that Jason almost dropped, I put one of those across between the modules to get kind of a general idea where they're supposed to be. And then we set up in the middle of the room a laser, and it sends a light around. And then we have a stick that has a high and a low. And we start, I'm doing my hands and you can't see, raising and lowering the modules. And the pitch will go high or it'll go low. And when it just gets a steady beat, which drives.
Oh, really? It's got sound. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. So when you're down on the ground and you're turning screws and stuff, you can hear it and you know when you got it level or not. Everybody in the room is covering their ears because it is a little annoying. Nice level.
Yeah, I was trying to tell Haith mine's bigger.
Oh.
It's not about the size of the level, but how you use it, right, Heath?
Exactly. I've got a 165-foot measuring tape that's this is a 165-foot measuring tape in a small package. It just really all depends on how you use it.
Lynn's got his level out now.
Are we showing all of our levels? I don't know where I have a. I've got a torpedo level. I've got a digital level.
Ooh.
All I have laying here is a 12-inch wooden roller.
These are pretty good for a level too.
I was going to say, yeah, I have used the level app on my phone before. It comes in handy in a pinch.
Do you know how you level stage decks when you're setting up for a band?
No, tell us.
You look at the drummer and you check if drool is coming out of both sides of his mouth.
Oh, hey, I'm a drummer. Careful. I just go by the pictures. That's level. There you go. Level.
Grandpa
Level's
Rails wants to make you
overrated.
have a line level.
You don't. Nothing needs to be level. Put this back up over here. I've got to organize though. Like if you see, like I'm going over there for some stuff and then over here for other stuff. I gotta get organized. Too much stuff. But this camera is really bugging me right now. It should be working.
And you said that's a GoPro, or what camera is that?
It's a GoPro 5. I don't know what this symbol means on the front of it. Mike says, a drummer? I'm a percussionist. Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Oh, I've got a plumb bob somewhere too. Although I think that might be in the basement right now. But I do have a plumb bob also, like a real plumb bob with the little sharp point on it that if you're not careful, you stick your finger with it.
Like a top that used to spin and throw.
Yeah,
Remember
exactly.
the old tops? Kids don't know what a top is, like yo-yos.
Who doesn't know what a
Yo-yos.
top is?
I thought one hosted this show. No, I'm just kidding.
That's an understatement. So if I plug this in, I don't know what that symbol means, but I thought that symbol meant that it was connected. I'm sorry. This is, these are like those little things that, like, when I can't figure out a problem, it just like kind of nags at me.
Go for it.
And like,
I was
so
gonna say,
what?
when you plugged it in, the camera, your live camera, kind of like jumped a frame or two there.
So that's finally it. I don't know that I want to mess that up though. I don't know why that's so small. But let's try, if I plug it back into this, let's see if it'll work. So I don't know what I'm doing differently now. It's magically got it working. So that is... It's probably one of those things like you have to like restart the computer or something. See, and I should have just, I got it working. I should have just left it good enough alone, right? That would have been the smart thing to do. But no, I had to go try something else.
You don't know until you try.
Yeah. This show's about being smart, right?
Yeah.
And so why do I keep doing stupid things? Oh, there it is. Now it's right. So let's
Looks like
see
it's
now.
it looks like it's 90 degrees out of being right.
Well, it's that's just because it's laying on its side. Oh, there we go.
Now, this is a GoPro they still make, or this is an older one?
An older one. This is a GoPro 5.
And you're using the HDMI out on it into a capture box on?
Yep. Yes, I am. So what this is telling me, or what this is sort of very obviously telling me, is it obvious? I don't know if it's obvious. Thank you, JD. Much appreciated. But what this is telling me is that I need some lighting under the Z-scale, or I should say under this HO. So there's the HO scale here with the Z scale underneath it. And when I switch to this camera, it's kind of dark, so I think I need some more some light down here.
No,
But I
you need
kind
to
of like
put,
that view.
put a building back there with lights in it.
Funny you should say that. Good lead-in. I'll play my my thank my members, my Patreon and my YouTube members. But also, what's going to come up is my channel sponsors. One of my channel sponsors is PGH Train Fanatic Nick, who makes background flats, and he actually made me a Z-scale background flat with lighting in it. So that would actually be pretty cool. It's upstairs right now, but I need to get that down here. But in the meantime, thank you. So it's changing up the lighting a little bit while we were watching that to see if I could get a little bit better something. Yeah, this is good, right? The hot spot on the bald spot right there. Roy E has been bad, so he's getting the Star Trek treatment. What's the Star Trek treatment? Yes, so this is now a GoPro. It's very dark. But let's see if I turn this light. Echo, turn on softbox right. Boom!
Hey, there you go.
Almost like I had it ready. Hey, Roy!
Heath, I think he means that I'm under your logo.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I'm under my logo now. Yeah, the Z's running kind of fast. I noticed that earlier. Do you want to take us through your layout, what you got going on right now?
Yeah, I just got my capture hooked up to my Canon so I can carry it around. Let's see if it works.
Awesome. And just to be clear, I don't have anything against white light. What I'm trying to do is create some sort of depth and only light the things that I want people to be looking at, if that makes sense. So
I thought you were
I'm
going
going to make everyone dizzy. Whoa. Okay. So this is the layout that you guys have seen, at least the bench work for it.
Although the tracks used to connect on that left side of the peninsula, and they don't look like they connect anymore.
Well, yeah, the main line is just oval right now. And this area here, which is unfinished, is all industry. This will be where the VCRR local line traverses and delivers stuff from this yard over here, which is where the UP drops off the cars. But the main line is going to go over to here, where I have finished my whole side bench work that is for staging, and there'll be a little bit of scenery and industry on the front of it, but staging will be all in the back. So that section there is 9 feet by 34 inches. And the back section there is 11 feet across by similar 34, 35 inches, not quite 3 feet.
Nice.
All the buildings are strategically placed to cover wires that I haven't drilled holes through for yet. I just dug out a bunch of buildings and stuck them on there. And then these two little mountains are covering up more wiring. But the main loop in the back is all sort of permanent. I've drilled the holes through for the feeder wires, and the switches are all controlled. You can see down here, kind of dark, but I've got the MRC unit and the Kato with the switches. That's a temporary setup that I will be changing out. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I got a bunch of lighting up here that is probably super bright and lightsabers now, but
So are you going to extend the main line back onto the peninsula so you could run all through the peninsula, or is the peninsula going to become a yard?
the peninsula is all industry. It's all the short line for VCRR. The main line is going to extend around the side over there through the staging. So it'll go all the way around the staging, and on the front part of the staging, there'll be a couple of industries that the main line will, attach to. And it'll go across that little triangle there. The tracks will, where it curves around, one side will go out onto the thing, and the other side will be where it returns back. So I'll have a pretty.
You've got enough room on that little side shelf there to do either like a dog bone or a reverse loop or something.
Oh yeah, it's the same depth here as it is over there.
Oh, it is. Okay.
So I'll be able to do the same kind of loop around. It's going to go all the way down to the end over here, under these boxes.
Where's your Solar Series collection? Where's your wall of micro trains?
So I have that rack over there.
Oh, nice.
With those gray boxes. Those are all full of cars.
Nice.
And then there's a pile of stuff on top that hasn't been sorted. And then I've got the box right there of all the DOD stuff. These are all the military trains that I have to build out the kits. And the solar trains are in a box there underneath and behind some stuff there.
Did they ever release the Constellation locomotive or not yet?
No, they just have the cars.
Yeah.
For pre-order, which I've pre-ordered them all.
Yeah.
So this is my computer setup here.
Good to see somebody with more monitors than me.
Well, I have the 3 computer monitors over here, and then I've got a big TV on the wall there mounted.
Yeah, I've thought about trying to get a TV off to my right, but I don't need it. I'm trying to avoid that for now. Pappy's saying, what's behind the door that you can't get to?
Oh, I can actually get to it. It's just a temporary table. That's a closet. It's a little walk-in closet full of crap.
Okay.
So
full
then
of train crap or other crap?
Other crap.
Gotcha.
So over here, under here is this IKEA desk. That will be my train workbench with paint booth and all that. It's got a pile of crap on it right now, but it's one of these ones where it opens up. This will lift up, and there's a work area with a mat under there and everything. And then over here is my electronics workbench, which you can't really tell, but I've got the hot air rework station, and my scope is under there somewhere, and I've got a couple of different power supplies. I had to rearrange because last weekend we built all this. A friend of mine came over.
Oh,
and
so that's all new over there. I didn't realize that.
The side staging is all new last weekend. And we moved this down to the wall here, and the other one is in my other room because I used to have 2 of these workbench things.
How big is that whole room? Did you say, and I missed it?
It's about, that back section that's a sort of inset is 11 feet. And then from that back wall to the front wall where my computer is over here is 19 feet.
It's a nice size space.
Yeah, it's a big, the room width is a little over, it's between 16 and 17 wide and 19 deep, but then it's got those 2 little corner cutouts that are for where that cubby is. It's basically sitting on top of my garage. This whole room is directly above my garage.
Gotcha.
And there's my shelf with electronic parts and all those yellow and silver and black boxes. And then
I didn't see your 3D printer anywhere.
I have another room with I have resin printer, Reality 10 Pro S, and laser cutter. Those are in
it's
another
probably better
room.
off being somewhere else anyway.
Yeah, well, they're in another room, and I have them venting out a window and everything in that other room when I use it.
Pappy really wants to see what's in that closet. The
Well,
door to your right.
That door there, I'm assuming he's talking about.
Oh, that door. That's the one he's talking about. Yeah, where does that one go?
That's a little walk-in closet for this room. And it's literally packed full to the top with stuff. So if I open the door, I have to be careful things fall out.
That's too funny.
And this table here is just an IKEA table. It's temporarily here while I'm working on things. It's got all my tools and paint and crap on it. I can, once I clear all that off, that table goes out, and then you have access to that door. And then that door is out into the rest of my house, right? So I'm upstairs, so like that's the stairwell and whatever.
Yes.
It's getting dark. The sun's going down.
Yeah, the sun's pretty much down here right now. That's for darn sure. But,
yeah, I mean, the sun has gone over the horizon. Is just still a little bit of, it's dusk, whatever they call that.
Pappy says, you can't get in. I love that.
That walk-in closet, you can't get in.
That's too funny. That's too funny. Well, speaking about bench work, Jason, it looks like you actually got that mounted back there. We're kind of joking with you standing inside of it, but it seems to have worked.
Yep, and it's level, which is what matters.
It's level for somebody in Arkansas, or it's level for regular people?
Arkansas.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's got a level on it, so it's got to be some amount of level, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you notice, it's far enough away that you can't see where the bubble is.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Tim, I have my drapes closed, so I have no idea whether the sun's out or it's dark out, and I can kind of care less to some extent.
I was going to say,
Yeah, with all
10:46
this-
p.m., I hope the sun's not out.
Yes, Norman. I just extended it all the way into that corner. So now I got to go to Home Depot tomorrow, go get some more L brackets. I've got the, I don't know if y'all can see them or not.
So that's in front of what used to be the garage door?
Okay, so the garage door, it used to be behind me.
Oh,
So
you still need to do the bench work along the wall behind you then too.
along the wall behind me and part of the way this way and coming out into the middle and spiraling through. So yeah.
So is the door
So the
completely
peninsula
gone?
is actually coming from the wall on
It's,
your
yeah,
left.
it's coming from this direction over here. It'll come out and then go back towards the garage wall about halfway.
I
and
thought
then
you were
that's where my
sitting
hips will be.
inside the sort of small part of the peninsula. I didn't realize you were outside of it.
No, I'm on the outside portion.
Yeah, he's sitting under the attic access, I think.
Yes, that is correct.
Ah, gotcha. Is Amanda up there and she's gonna jump down on top of you?
No, it's a hot box up there. I went up there not too long ago. You'll sweat out a full bottle of water in 5 minutes.
Rayron's saying it's level, but is it flush to the other section?
Yeah, it's flush.
Close enough. So it's a 25 by 25 room?
20 by 20.
20 by 20.
Yeah.
See,
It
what
was
I think,
originally a 2-car garage if you had 2 small cars like a Mini Coupe, but not like my Chevy 2500 would not fit in here. There's
oh,
just no
okay.
way.
By the way,
See, I'm a fan of what Roy did. Going with N scale, you can get so much more into, not much smaller space. You need to switch to N scale, Jason, so we could see what you really could do.
Look at how
you
much
come over
fit in
here
on a
and
G-scale, Heath.
Jason Hotbox's training room.
Continue
Yeah,
to
this
say
had
it's
the
not
AC
flush
unit.
against the wall.
Yeah, the walls in this room are totally not even. So there's a lot of gap behind my bench work that I'll be putting the backdrop in front of.
So one
Funny
of the
you say that.
issues,
I'm afraid of this corner when I go to put them up there because I pretty much guarantee you those corners are not square. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
that we had when we re-sheetrocked this whole room, it was mainly this wall over here about where Riceland's at. The stud inside the wall has a huge bow. So if you're leaning against the wall, you can actually see the bow in the wall. And there's like really nothing I could have done to, fix that.
You can
It's just-
see the bow in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like bows in or out.
It bows towards me, towards inside.
Yeah.
So
So-
convex.
Yeah. And when you try to put your bench work up there, like I had to cut a small little chunk out of the plywood, just so that way the plywood would fit up there right.
Well, it's funny because these two walls were new walls, but probably can't see what I'm pointing at. The two walls behind me here are new walls, but these other two walls are like old plaster 1929 walls. So I knew these walls would not be straight or square or anything, but I kind of hoped these walls would have been close because they like literally just built them. Nope,
No.
nope, not at all.
Hey, if it's within a quarter inch or so or a few degrees, that's all they care about.
Yeah,
That's
I always
right.
say steel workers try and get within an inch. Your sheetrock guys and whatnot are within a half an inch, and your mill workers are generally within a quarter of an inch or so. But nobody's any tighter than that. And when we used to install LED displays are what LED displays are. So when the mill worker is a quarter of an inch off, that's a problem. Because I
Yeah.
can't shave down or make my LED display slightly bigger. Just doesn't work. So, yeah, it's all fun and games. Is anyone
Hi,
else
Sarah.
noticing? I feel like, oh, I guess it doesn't. I thought this would have filled the screen more, but I guess it doesn't. I guess it leaves the blank on the bottom. I should put something down there.
There you go.
I don't know. My dad worked in aerospace. That wouldn't have worked. It's interesting you say that, Norman. I'm actually kind of curious. I mean, yes, I get that planes are like pretty darn accurate and whatnot, but really, what are the actual tolerances on a plane? I mean, you see the wings when you're flying. The wings flap around. The actual body of the plane, shifts. That's kind of part of the whole
Well,
process of it.
It
Some
may depend
planes-
on the plane.
For military jet planes, they actually build them so that they account for the fact that the metal will expand
Correct.
when they get up to speed because of the temperature, the air friction. SR-71 is famous for that because it would actually leak fuel as it's taking off, and then once it warms up, it stops leaking because the metal expands, closes all the gaps.
Yep.
Yep. Planes are plus or minus 0.03. Is that inches or is that metric?
I would assume metric.
So Artie wants to know how we get multi-cameras to work with Windows 10. So we've got, I know there's at least, I think 4 of us are probably all using OBS.
Yes.
I'm using XSplit, which is the same thing.
Ah, okay.
Different.
Sparky used to use XSplit as well. I think Michael McCarville might use XSplit as well.
Yeah, I
some
started
people do-
with XSplit many years ago when I was streaming game-related stuff on Twitch, and I bought the lifetime license back then for a couple $100, and it's pretty nice. It was way better than OBS back then, but OBS has come a long way. I've considered switching to OBS.
I'm pretty happy with OBS. I mean, this is, what I've got going on here is pretty simplistic. But, if we get into like this kind of stuff where I've got, you can't really make that out, but, I've got all these setups for when once I get a better computer. I'll be able to do kind of more of this kind of stuff. But for now, I'm not really using it for much of anything. But yeah, you can. So OBS is Open Broadcaster software. Or there's XSplit, or there's Ecamm, or there's vMix.
I'm using Streamlabs.
Yeah, Streamlabs is a fork of OBS.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
There's actually several OBS forks.
Oh, are there? What are some other ones? I didn't know there were other ones.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I'd have to go dig them up. But I think Stream Elements now has a version of it, and then Streamlabs, and then regular OBS, and then there's
Streamlabs has Melon. Melon is the StreamYard of Streamlabs.
Okay, so they
say that
switched
10 times fast.
because they used to have OBS. It used to be Streamlabs OBS.
They still have Streamlabs OBS, which is a downloadable program, and then they have a web-based version that they call Melon.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah, because I'm using Streamlabs, the downloadable version
Right.
on my PC.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about switching to, depending on whether or not XSplit keeps giving me grief. It's mostly I can't get XSplit to see the capture from my Canon, so I had to capture the Elgato capture program to show the Canon.
Oh,
camera.
really? Yeah, I'm a fan of OBS just because of all the plugins and stuff. There's some really cool plugins like Audio Monitor, which works really well for audio routing, and just some other stuff that just makes. You have to set it all up. It can be very complicated, but Yeah,
XSplit has a ton of plugins as well. A lot of the same stuff. In fact, I've got quite a few of them to try to help. At least when I was using it back for streaming gaming related stuff, I had it doing all kinds of alerts and all kinds of crap that would come up automatically from Twitch API interfaces.
You notice I'm being very quiet over here.
We'll
get you there, Lynn. We'll get you there.
I was impressed when I got to Windows 8.
But yeah, XSplit just lets me select any number of cameras. I've had 5-6 cameras going with it before.
What's great about XSplit that OBS isn't as great at is the graphical interface. It's just much more user friendly, I guess you can say. You don't have to hunt and peck quite as much.
And setting up scenes is really easy. You can adjust things super quick. Like I can change the size of this crop on the fly. You'll see it adjust in a second because it's
like
delayed.
I don't mind that struggle to some extent. Like I feel like that's part of the.
I see you, Jason.
Part of the fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly technical, being programmer and stuff. So I dig in and fight with all the options and settings and add-ons to get it going, similar to you.
Yeah, but I mean, not everyone's going to want to do that, and I completely get that as well. And that is something I'm still getting things set up down here, but I started a series called Tech as a Tool, Not as an Obstacle. And one of the things that I do want to do is start kind of a live stream type thing where I'll have one guest on that wants to do something technical or whatever, and we'll talk through it and we'll figure out how to do it if we don't know or whatever, and we'll kind of make it happen. Containerman saying, "Freak, that bubble was off."
No, it wasn't. It was on.
It looked pretty right on to me.
I'm gonna go set the tripod over there, and I'll show it to you again.
Show us what? The bubble again? Oh, he took his headphones out, and I'm still talking to him.
He's going to show you the bubble.
So is there Is there any benefit to using the Streamlabs OBS versus the full-fledged OBS?
I don't know. I think the Streamlabs one has a few things that are to make it a little nicer and easier to set up because they have their Streamlabs website interface as well. But I don't know. I haven't really used it that much.
Yeah, I've played with OBS itself. I've never looked at the Streamlab variant.
Yes, but this. I need to turn this off. I think so it doesn't look funny. But so this is. It's not coming through. Hold on. Why isn't it coming through? Oh, there you go. So I don't know if you can see on the bottom. I'll make it bigger. But like Grandpa Rails gave $2 as a super sticker. So this happens to be a Stream Elements alert, but you can do this with Streamlabs as well in OBS. So the Streamlabs website stuff, you can integrate right into OBS as well, just by building out your scenes. Anyway. Damien's off to bed. I'm starting to think about it as well. One is Train Master, the other... Oh, they're having a little side conversation.
Yeah, Split Rock asked what engines I had running.
Ah, gotcha. Do you have... you have some BLIs, and then you have some of the Atlas stuff? And then you have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I have Atlas, Bachmann, BLI, Kato, and some old ancient crap like Arnold, made in West Germany kind of stuff from back in the 80s and 90s when I was first playing with this stuff.
Yeah,
but all my current...
There's no locomotive. This is just cars, but yeah, I've got a couple little Arnold things as well.
Yeah, almost all my stuff though is either Atlas, BLI, or Kato. I have a handful of Bachmanns because I got the DDA 40Xs and a couple little switchers and stuff that are Bachmann.
So Edward wants to know what we define as smart features, and what Steve87 is correct. I'm using the Amazon Echo device, and I've got various plugs and stuff to be able to kind of control different parts of the room, and also all the lights are also voice controlled and or app controlled, so I can either use the apps on my phone or I can just Mark is saying that the level is upside down.
It might be upside down, but it's level.
So yeah, if you go back to the beginning or beginning-ish, that's not level, Jason. The bubble's hitting the line on the right.
No, but it ain't.
Jason, turn it over, and then we'll know for sure.
That is absolutely not level. That is totally Arkansas level. If you put a digital level up there, you'd be at least half a degree off.
Jason, turn it over. Make everybody happy. Turn it over.
Apparently, Container Man's going to be N-scale. Picking up some N-scale locomotives.
I still need
Yeah,
to go
it could be
through
the angle of the
skill stuff
camera.
I got.
No, the bubble doesn't shift with the angle of the camera.
Hold on. No, it shows more level than it does on the camera. Hold up a sec.
Turn it over. Turn it over.
Norman, I'm just really giving Jason a hard time because that is not level. I don't know in what world that is level. Yes, it is Internet of Trains. I could just tell my device to turn off the trains and it will.
Oh, that's nice.
So
That's a nice Kato.
No, this is the BLI version
Oh, that's the BLI version.
of the Spirit, and it's the 6 series.
Oh!
It's my newest one. It's a SD70 Ace, obviously. It's really nice. I ran this for about 10 hours straight
I
last
hear the
weekend.
6 versions, the ones to get, not the
Yeah.
3 that I've got.
Well, I have several 3s, and they also work pretty well for me. This one I ran though, like at crawl speed around that track with 20 cars behind it for hours, and it never stalled or hiccuped at all, going over all the turnouts and everything.
Yeah, I mean, my Katos I can do that with. My BLI's just, I sent I think 3 or 4 of them back. I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me is like, if they don't ever come back, I'm kind of.
So I've got like 6 of them, and one of them gives me a little bit of trouble in the elevated turns, in the super elevated turns, because the trucks don't tilt enough.
Yeah.
So on super elevated, it lifts as it's coming out of the super elevated. The front truck will lift up on one side, and if it's going quick enough, it'll just drive right off the track. But I had a couple other ones were doing that, but I went and took them apart and adjusted the frame and fit a little bit, and now they will tilt appropriately. And so those all run fine. I just have this one that I have to be careful running it around the super elevated curve. And it's a 3 series. Like all the rest of mine are 3 series except this one.
Yeah.
But I've been.
You're all Kato Unitrack, right?
Yeah, Kato Unitrack. And I have a lot more Kato locomotives than I do BLIs. I have probably 20 Kato locomotives.
Nice.
Yeah,
definitely don't have that. Basically, from here, can you see? No, you can't see because I'm behind the thing. I actually don't have a lot of locomotives. And I guess that's a lot considering I don't even have my N scale layout down here yet. But I mean, you know, these sort of micro trains, Ringling Brothers ones, you know, are more because of the circus collection than anything else. But Jason, let's see it. Come on, bring it up.
It keeps crashing, man. I had it up there a second ago, close up. You weren't paying attention.
I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. It was still the bubble was still touching the right side of the line, the right line.
It's not.
I was going
might
to
have just
suggest
been the camera angles can screw with that.
How does the camera angle screw with a bubble level?
No, if you have that camera offset just slightly.
Yeah, if it's off pivot. It was off pivot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a digital level up there and give us that. Give us the digital readout. I bet you're going to be half a degree off.
That's very well possible because I didn't use a digital level.
It'll be a hard time.
So. But
Boy,
hey, I mean, where in the world, you know, like, you know, the Earth's ground, where is it level?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, good thought. Yes.
But that's why you have your level, is to make it level.
Yeah, but I want my trains to go up and down hills.
My layout isn't level. It's not possible when you have a carpet floor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right.
absolutely.
There you go.
It's level enough. My trains don't have any problems running.
So when I didn't know what I was doing, this was like several years ago when I built a level or a layout in here. I didn't use a level. I just measured from the ground floor, and I had no clue that a garage. I had no clue that the ground floor was not level.
At garages especially, they're designed to slope.
Yeah, so it's tilted for water to run off.
Right.
Yeah.
They often will be, they'll slope down to the middle and to the back, you know, to the door, so that the water will go into the middle.
So it's not the phone, it's the Wi-Fi connection that keeps dropping heat.
No, what he's saying, what Split Rock was saying is you can use your iPhone as a level. It's got a built-in level on it.
Yeah.
But you don't have a real phone, so yours probably doesn't come with a level.
Mine has a level. It works just fine.
Android has it too. Samsung's do.
Yeah, I have it on my Note 10.
It's just more fun to give you a hard time.
I
that's all.
don't trust the level on the phone though. I just don't trust it.
It's weird to me too. I don't understand how it works.
It's an accelerometer.
Yeah, but how does it know where 0 is?
Gravity. You calibrate. You're supposed to turn on. You can calibrate the level by setting your phone flat and let it detect. But those chips are pretty accurate. They can do gestures and everything, all just by moving your phone around.
Apparently, Steve 87 PSAP's factory has a 150 foot by 200 foot area that is completely flat. Do you imagine building that?
That's
I
huge.
bet you. So my guess would be is that they built it and then they somehow used a big milling machine or something to make it flat. Like, I don't think you could pour that flat. I think you have to pour it and then cut it.
Wouldn't you also have to put in expansion joints in it for something that big?
I don't know.
For expansion and contraction?
So the way a digital level works is I turn it on and it gives me the measurement.
It's exactly the same chip in the digital level that's in your phone.
Hey, the phone's digital too, Heath.
So Norman's saying leveling cement. I've used thinset before, and I feel like even thinset, the what's it called? The capillary action of thinset, like it still keeps it, still creates a little, thingamajiggy.
Yeah, I can't imagine thinset working on a 150 by 200 foot area.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But,
Where north is. No, it works pretty good.
I thought you were trying to see if you were level.
You got to put it on top of your head.
Major fail.
You're askew.
I am definitely askew, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm probably gonna start winding this down. So why don't I throw this over to you guys one at a time? You guys can pick the order. What's going on? Why should people check out your channels? I'll bring up the display names again so people can hopefully find your channels. But yeah, who wants to start? Who's got what going on?
Bench work. So
Since I built that staging thing, I'm going to paint it and then start building the track onto it. Plus, I need to finish drilling all the holes for my feeders and switch stuff. And I've got
Do you use foam on top of your wood, or are you right on the wood?
So on the main layout, I have foam, but on the staging yard, I just did wood. I'm not going to put foam on the staging yard.
Makes sense.
But I have one of those Digikai's switch controller boxes.
The 4018?
Yeah, I think it's 4018. And then I've got the little adapters for Kato switches, so I can drive 8 switches with that box. I'm going to get that hooked up.
Nice.
Because I don't know if you saw the little rack of the little switches that come with the blue switches from Kato stuck onto the side of the Kato power pack. It's 8 long already, and it's falling off. Like, it keeps falling off the power pack because it's bigger than the power pack. So unless I build a bracket to hold them all together, I'm probably gonna only have like 8 of them that I drive with those switches, and then the rest will all be on Digikai's box. I'm gonna get another one of those and string them together.
Take a look at that DK 518. I'm actually been pretty happy with that. Now that they've updated the firmware and it's no longer blowing up my turnouts, I've been really happy with it for my Z-scale stuff, and that's
what I was
the next
planning on.
things I got to get hooked up.
I was planning on getting one of those as my additional one. I'm probably also going to switch up to the DR5000 controller because my MRC is a little lacking, and I also accidentally fried the programming track output because I hooked the programming track up to the main track's power. Like I had a separate track with its own feeder, and then I said, "Oh, I'm gonna hook this track up," and I hooked it up to the main, and the controller didn't complain, and it was like trains were still running, but it started humming and then started smelling, and I was like, "Oh," and I like turned everything off and unplugged it. It still all works. It's just you can't do the programming track. You have to do programming on the main.
Programming on the main's actually better.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's just that if you don't know what address the loco is, you can't ID it. With MRC doesn't have that.
What I
feature
think
anyway.
the best thing is a programming track that has drive on, drive off, so that you can just
That's what I
double gap
want.
isolate a section of track, on your layout, and then use that as your programming track. Which you can only do that if you've got a DR5000.
Yeah, and that's one of the features
Yeah,
that I
but you
really
can't
like
throw
about
that
the,
switch with your NCE controller there, Jason.
No, but if I used a actual programming track,
Well, he could throw that switch if he had, a linear actuator set up.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I also have a Digitize booster for going under the staging, so that's kind of helped me decide to just get the DR5000.
Yeah,
I'll be going to Iron Planets and getting one of their kits with the main unit and a controller.
with the built-in Wi-Fi, drive on, drive off. Just a lot of there's some really great features in it. That dollar for dollar, I feel like you just can't beat it.
Yeah, plus I can get one of those little hub boxes and plug in a whole bunch of LocoNut stuff and NCE stuff. Like right
That's
into
what
the same
I got the
controller.
10-port LocoNet box, and just it makes it easy. Anyway, we got off track. So you're painting your layout, and you're gonna have a video coming out about it.
Yeah. I'm working on the update video. Hopefully in the next week or so, I'll get that. It's got a lot of stuff from finishing the main area and doing the side staging stuff.
And Mr. McCurdy,
Yes, sir.
what do you got going on in your life? I know you pulled out your
DeLorean.
horse trailer.
Oh,
Are you
horse
going? Are
trailer,
you
yes.
going somewhere?
Oh, absolutely. The Hatchby Loop this coming weekend. The Hatchby Loop Railroad Club is a multi-scale. Everything from G to Z.
Oh, really?
Yep, they're up in the mountains. They're by the loop or near the loop. The Tehachapi is a little town up there. And 4 times a year they have a show. Of course, last year they didn't have anything. And, it's kind of small potatoes, but it's in a gymnasium. My club, the High Desert Club, we're joining the Tehachapi HO Club. My modules and a couple of others, we're adding 44 feet to their layout. I don't know the total size of it, but I hear it's going to be pretty good size. And so, we'll be up there. I'm taking my rundown city and my 2-foot mine. And that's the newest thing. Talking about program tracks, you can see behind me there's different levels. And in front of me you can't, but there's 3 levels. And I had the bright idea of putting a program track on siding, just like you guys were talking about, so you can run on and off, which I was warned to be very careful to turn the power off when you're moving things back and forth. The problem is first off, I got to stand up and get it on there and everything. So I have a bench over here that was given to me that I have a run piece of track and a program track. So I can just reach right over here and if I get too dizzy. So there's my Zephyr Digitrack back there. The white thing is my on and off power. The rear track is a regular track. The one in the front is testing. The one behind the white cup full of parts in the Santa Fe is a cleaning. I don't know what they call it. You put the train on there and run it, cleans the wheels off of it. But let me get you too dizzy. Up here was the original test track where those cabooses and the black car is and stuff like that. But the big thing coming up is the show.
So Shay says he's going to be there.
Oh, cool.
So Shay, if you see this man with the beard, I'm sure he won't be hard to miss.
Yeah, come look me up.
JD mentioned he was planning on going to that show too.
Come up,
Okay.
introduce yourself. I'll hand you a throttle and a train, and you can run around the track. We're not real picky about that, as long as we know who you are.
If it wasn't 4 hours away, I would probably go also.
Looks like Rayron says he may go as well. So there you go.
Our big show is going to be in October back up at Ridgecrest. We were going to do the Great Train Show, of what used to be GTE, but the phone company got upset about that. Over in Victorville, in San Bernardino County, that's going to be a big show because of COVID. LA County closed everything down, so they just moved to the next county over, closer to us. But some of our main people that pull our real trailer, the big one with all the stuff in it, it's going to be out of town, and we need X so many people to set this up. We're just people like me, we're backs and stuff. I can plug in wires and put track down, but I can't be lifting these
Yeah, they're moving
modules,
around.
picking the big stuff up. And so we need X so many people to do it. So we had to bow out of that one. But the October is going to be the big show. That's the one where Tina Marie, she still says she's going to come up with a YouTube video of us. But we'll have battleships, aircraft carriers, space shuttles. The whole works will be up there for the big one. That's in October.
What's the date of Tehachapi?
Next weekend, the 14th and the 15th.
There you
It's 10 to 8 on Saturday and 10 to 3 on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm still seriously considering going to the Edison Greenberg show on the 14th. But hopefully I'll know more by Friday.
Isn't that this weekend?
Yeah. Yeah, Tehachapi's the 14th. Edison's the
Yeah.
14th this weekend.
Yeah, Lynn said next weekend, so that's why I was.
So I meant
asking.
this coming weekend. I'm sorry about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
this coming.
yeah,
What's
because I got a
next?
train show to be at the following weekend.
Oh, where are you going?
So Jacksonville, Arkansas, it's right outside of Little Rock. They have an annual train show every year in August. This year it's on the 21st and 22nd. And Train Freak Jr. is actually taking his new in-scale layout. We got a booth for him.
That's awesome.
So he's going to get to show that off.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
So James says, Roy E. hoping to get the new throttle from TCS on the email list from Iron Planet. I want to see the TCS 50 and compare it to the UT6D. I am a huge fan of that UT6D throttle. It is it's a huge step up from the UT5D, and just like there's a lot of great stuff about it, and I feel like the TCS 50 is going to be a pretty big throttle for what it is. But I don't know. Like, I've thought of getting that TCS 50 as well. Yes, it is Friday the 13th this week. So come check out my Friday stream.
So
it
Heath,
could be interesting.
since you like throttles, have you looked into the proto throttle?
I have. Mark Stafford, I've talked to him a little bit. Mark's actually making a Steam version of the proto throttle. I don't know how. I don't do enough operations for the proto throttle to be on my short list. I like the UT6D just because of how kind of small it is, and for just like running one train. It's great, and it works really well for operations. But to get a proto throttle, I'd need a real layout for that. That's like real.
That's years from now for you, Heath.
I don't. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. What diesel locomotive is the proto throttle based off of? Too. It's not
EMD.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as like the controls on the inside, it doesn't matter if it's like a Jeep 7 or if it's a SD45 T2. The controls are all roughly the same.
Yeah, James, the TCS50 will work with the Wi-Fi Trax interface. If you've got a DR5000, you don't need any extra interfaces. You can hook it up right to the, right to the thing. You're right. The Proto Throttle and Proto Steam are for realistic operations work. So this idea of the TCS throttle keeping the consist in the throttle,
So I
like,
don't like that.
I mean, I don't know that I care because it takes what, 5 seconds to set up a consist in a
Yeah.
Digitrax or an NCE throttle. So I don't know. I don't know why I would need that necessarily. I mean,
you
maybe if
could-
I was consisting like 500 locomotives, but
I can manually consist by just setting the appropriate CVs on each loco. It's not that hard. Plug in
Exactly.
a couple numbers.
And then all you got to do is just disable the addressing CV value back to, 0, and then it would
Right.
take over the loco's address. And then if you ever want to reconsist it, you consist it to that new address, and everything works the way it did before.
the yard switching feature of the TCS throttle is kind of interesting. My understanding is I think it alters the momentum
Yeah.
of the locomotives. I believe is the way it does it, so that you don't have the momentum like you would on your mainline locomotives. But again, if you've got a switcher doing your yard switching and you've got your road locomotives, you're going to be using different ones anyway. So
Yeah, my yard switching on the MRC it makes it so that the dial, when you go past 0 to negative, it'll actually just start going the other way. So you don't have to
interesting.
hit the
Yeah.
button to switch directions. So it makes yard switching a little easier because you just go up to 3 one direction, go back down to 3 the other direction. You just go back and forth.
The WLAN multi-mouse, which is a $99 throttle, does that, what you're talking about with the MRC throttle. I
Yeah.
guess it's hard for me to spend $300 on a TCS Wi-Fi throttle when there are much cheaper options that I feel like have comparable features. So it's just it's a hard. I don't know. I don't. People for some reason think that TCS throttle is the be all end all of throttles, and I just don't see it.
I'm just gonna
I
get
really,
the
I really like my NCE throttles, both the the full handheld and the Cabo 6.
I'm just
You
gonna
like the
get the
hammerhead design.
Z21 that comes with the starter set from Iron Planet.
Yeah, that's get the WLAN multi mouse. Yeah, I would get the wireless one.
Yeah, the wire. It's a starter kit that they sell with the DR5000 and the wireless controller.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
But I'm gonna run it all from JRMI anyway. So
Yeah, the new TCS 50 is $200, but you can get a UT6D for like 130 or something. So again, it's like, why pay the extra money? And this is the thing, right? Everyone says, "Oh, the best thing is that the TCS is universal. Just get a DR5000, and then you could use any throttle with it. You could use Digitrax, you can use TCS, you could use Z21, you could use Lens. You can't use NCE at this moment, but it's coming. They have there's videos of it out there, using an NCE throttle on a DR5000. But my argument is, why get a universal throttle? Just get a universal command station. Because if you get a universal throttle, it still doesn't help you. You still can't hook a LocoNet device up to your cab bus system. And you can't hook an ExpressNet item up to your
looking at
LocoNet system. But if you have a DR5000, you can. You could hook up ExpressNet. You could hook up LocoNet. You could shortly hook up cab bus. So that's my rant. I always get into that rant. I don't think the way of the future is a universal throttle, I think the wave of the future is a universal command station. Yeah,
The future's
ESU
gonna be
has some
dead real.
really cool features for that kind of sort of universal stuff. But
I kind of got spoiled with Digitrack because our club, one of our officers, is a distributor for Digitrack, has his own business called Green Steam. He makes all kinds of electronic stuff. It's kind of like being used to beta and VHS. Switching over, it was like, this is different. Once you do it, it's okay, but the actual going from one device to another, it's kind of intimidating for some of us, old people.
and I think like Steve 87 PSAP saying how many clubs and layouts are going to do it, and I would say that a lot of clubs that started 50 years ago are Digitrax or NCE in the US because that's all there was. But now there are more options. So if you're starting a club today, or if you're building a new layout today, then buy a universal system so you're not locking yourself into one manufacturer. So my point is, though, is yes, the command station is hooked up to a layout, but if you wanted to come over to my layout and you had a Digitrax throttle, an NCE throttle, a TCS throttle, a Proto throttle, whatever, you could walk onto my layout and use the throttle that you own. You wouldn't need to go get a different throttle. And that's kind of my point, is that, use whatever throttle you want to use.
Are you anticipating having a lot of visitors?
Me, no.
Oh, okay. Just asking.
I will eventually.
But honestly, like people are saying, like how hard would it to swap over? If you have a Digitrax layout, and let's say you've got a they're not called are they called DBs anymore? Whatever that 210 plus is, right? That's the 210 plus is like $250, $300 or whatever. And you're looking to upgrade to that because your DB 150 is dying, right? And you've got all these LocoNet boosters and you got all this other stuff out there. It's just as easy to swap in a DR5000 as it is to upgrade to it's a DCS 210 plus, right? It's just as easy to swap that in to your layout. So, if you're a huge club that's got a huge LocoNet Digitrax system, upgrading to a DR5000 is easy. It's really, really easy. I don't have truck parking. I don't really even have, you can't even drive trucks on Riverside Drive.
Do you have valet parking at least?
I do. Mark says upgrade to a Z21. And again, DR5000, you could use your Z21 throttles. You could. One thing I really like about the DR5000 is the Z21 app for the iPad is really pretty awesome. M&M Rails, I'd pay big money to see a 3-person operating session in that studio.
Got a question just to throw out related to what you're talking about. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with what you say. But how many of us, if we have visitors, we have spare throttles, or our clubs have spare throttles?
Yeah. And that's what, that's.
I believe it or not, I've had 5 people in here. One big guy at the door, so we couldn't go out the door. But there was 5 of us in here. I have 2 plugs here. I have 2 on the main control and 2 more behind me. Plus, I have 2 throttles of my own. One's wireless. And the 5 of us in here, although this layout isn't really set up for multiple trains, but we were all operating separate little engines and a couple of cars. And
I guess
they didn't have to bring anything over. Here's a throttle, and we ran off at the main one there. And
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that if we look at, I don't disagree that if we say, okay, we've been doing it this way for the last since 1990, since DCC started, we've basically been saying if you buy a command station, you buy that manufacturer's throttles. And that's the way everybody's done it, and we've upgraded along the way, so everyone's got a bunch of throttles because every time there's a new shiny object, we buy a new throttle. And my argument is that yes, we can keep doing what we've been doing since 1990, where we base our throttle selection and our accessory selection and everything around what DCC system we have. And I'm saying that let's flip it on its head and rethink that idea, rethink that concept.
No, it's a good idea. Yeah.
And just sort of look at it from a different perspective.
And especially for somebody just getting into the hobby and getting started. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And like Sparky just said too, like NCE is easily upgradable. Like I would argue to upgrade an NCE power cab, you have to actually swap the EEPROM inside the NCE throttle. To update all of my DR5000 and Digitrax stuff, I just connect them to a computer and run the updater.
Right.
Yeah, but they haven't came out with an update in so long because they're still fairly up to date.
Well, but see, that's what I would argue, though, is the reason they haven't come up with many updates is because very few people are going to update because of how complicated it is. But what if, for example, they came up with a way to do consisting in a throttle, and all you needed to do to add that to your throttle was update the firmware of the throttle,
See,
which I can
NCE
do
already
with my
does that.
Digitrax stuff.
We do that. Digitrax does that.
So here's the question: what?
I'm telling you about that TCS thing that they're talking about.
Yeah.
That they're saying that they do.
When you're
Adding that
with,
to Digitrax, you can do because it's just a firmware update. Whereas with NCE, you'd actually have to swap the EEPROM. Drew Deuce, the EEPROM swap is easier than turning on a PC. That's true.
too.
If you're comfortable swapping an EEPROM, yeah. But I know
I
the
guess-
Digitrax throttles have 3 different ways of consisting. It's like simple, advanced, and legacy or something or whatever.
Yeah, NCE
Yeah,
only
it's
has
confusing.
2. It's simple and advanced, which I do advanced
Yeah.
consisting.
Right.
Yeah, advance is where it programs the CVs in the actual locomotives. So it's not storing it in the command station at all. The locomotives have the info.
Right.
Whereas simple is in the controller.
Well, it's in the command station, not in the controller.
Yeah, the command station. To me, that's
in
the
the command
controller.
station,
The
right.
throttle, the throttle is in a controller. It's a throttle.
Okay, so if you got
so that's another argument though too. Is a lot of people talk about that as if they're the same thing.
so
A
it
throttle is a
depends.
throttle. A command station's a command station, even if they're in one box. It's kind of like saying that a booster and a command station are the same thing.
It's
No.
not.
Yeah, and they're not.
They're separate
It's not.
devices. You can package them in one box,
Yeah.
but
So
they're separate devices.
So the NCE power cab has the command station inside the throttle, but the NCE Pro cab has a separate box.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it's the same thing with like the Digitrax DCS 50 and DCS 51. It's a throttle and command station all in one.
Throttle, command station, and a booster
Yeah.
all in one. So it's actually 3 devices in one.
Right,
Most command stations are a booster as well. Like they have
Yeah.
some amount of power to the track.
Right.
Well, then you could say a PR4 is a command station.
Sort of. If you have JRMI, you can run your whole layout with a PR4.
Well, up to 700 milliamps or something. You run one locomotive. You can't run multiple
Yeah,
locomotives off
not-
the PR4.
No, but you could run a locomotive around, and if you have boosters, then you could do that too.
I heard the word simple. I'm simple is my name. I don't consider.
No, your name is Lynn.
Lynn anyways, I program any engines that I run together more than two or so. I just program them all to the same number, and then I don't have to worry about all that.
I do that too. I just program them all to 3.
Well, you can do that too, but
The main issue with that is that it won't necessarily do the lighting correctly on the locos.
Well,
And
and
the sound.
sound.
And
And the
sound is
sound.
the big one.
Because
you have one with sound and one with lights, and I have some videos where there's 7 UPs running together pulling a really long train. I figured how many cars, and everybody's like, "Ooh, ah!" Well, 2 of them are dummies, and a couple of them are just cheap Bachmann, and only the Atlas up front has all the lights and sound in it. But when you look at it, everybody has the impression all 7 locomotives are operating together.
Yeah.
And you save tinfoil to make things out of too. So okay.
We can get into the whole smartphone thing too. I'm actually kind of if we want to even go down that route, I'm curious how many people trust their smartphones to run their trains. Like Thomas is even saying he's selling his UT4s and buying old iPhones. I have a really hard time controlling the train on my phone while I'm watching what it's doing.
Yeah. I prefer the tactile feedback of the buttons and the dial.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the touchscreen control.
No.
I like to be able to just, I can have the remote down at my side and I can feel with my thumb the button I want to hit. With a touchscreen, you got to look at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's like that tactile, you know where things are based on the shape of that throttle and the feel of the buttons.
So that's why I like this one here, because you got both the buttons and you got a dial in the middle.
That is one thing that's nice about NC is the buttons for the speed in addition to the
my MRC has that. I have buttons for +1 and -1 as well as the dial.
Oh, I don't know that I knew you could use the volume buttons on your iPhone for the throttle. I didn't realize that.
And then you get a phone call and you got to figure out how to set the volume.
Well, that's the thing, right? You better put that thing in do not disturb mode so you don't get any phone calls while you're.
We have a couple of members that use their iPhones. This is a novelty, and I saw one of them get a phone call while he's running on the main at a show, and it was, he was like, what do I do? Trying to answer the phone, and it was
your screen locks on you, and you got to hurry up and stop your train, and you're trying to put your pin in unlock.
And that's why you use phones, the old ones that have no cellular service at all.
I don't have any more old phones. That's my problem. Is I started doing the iPhone like turn them in when you get a new phone thing, so I don't have old phones.
You don't have
I think M&M Rails
of them laying around.
Well, send me a couple. Mark from M&M Rails makes a great point though too. It's like I'm generally going to use my phone if I want to video something. I can't be running the train and. I don't know. It's all you guys with all these phones. Mark, if you guys haven't seen the Proto Steam throttle, that's a cool looking throttle.
Yeah.
So check that out. Mark posts some pictures up on Facebook and stuff. You can see that. I was looking at getting the Fire 7 tablets, the Amazon tablets, but then somebody was saying that they had a soft firmware update and it didn't work as well. Rayron saying he's got 2 phones, which is what helps.
You can buy really cheap Android tablets with Wi-Fi in them.
Yeah.
Like sub $50, and that'd be a reasonable controller.
And I like the Amazon Fire ones too. I mean, yes, not Facebook. Model Road Hobbyist for Mark's photos. Sorry. I like the Amazon Fire devices because they're decent devices, but you have to hack them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, Container Man's got all those S phones. iPads work too. I'm using the device that I use to control this stream is an old iPad. it's an iPad 2, whatever year that came out in. It can't run the new firmware, but UpDeck still runs on it, and I think Touch Portal runs on it as well. And actually, the teleprompter is an old iPad as well. I haven't bought a new iPad in forever. Anthony Borden saying, "What about using your computer to run all of your trains?"
And
I've done
JMRI.
that. I've done that with JMRI. The DR5000 also has software you can use to run it. It's got a digital throttle and stuff. Again, though, for me, it's like you then have to, even if I'm on my desk with a test track, testing a locomotive, if I'm looking at the locomotive, the time it takes me to look back up to the computer, I tend to run the trains off the desk. But maybe that's just my problem. Mark says the computer's a bit heavy and you can't stick it in your pocket. He didn't say the stick it in your pocket part, but I did.
There's two clubs in Colorado that they run all their trains by big computers. One of them, unfortunately, just lost their lease and are looking for a new home. But the other one up at Greeley, I got to take a back room VIP tour, and here's monitors and computers, and they just go in the morning, turn it on, click everything on, and it runs all automatically. They also wear engines out in 1 year. A guy says that a train, they're lucky if they can get 1 year out of it from running. But they were going 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, too.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of mileage on those trains. I agree with Rayron. I do want to, if I wasn't using the two iPads for this, if I get myself a Stream Deck and switch to a Stream Deck, I'll use one of these iPads to switch switches, which I think's great. Oh, Mark says he can't put the Proto Steam in his pocket. Yeah, but it looks so cool, you wouldn't want to put it in your pocket. That's
one of the things I'm going to do with my old Nexus 10 tablet is use it to do the switches. Just set up a screen with all the touch pads and feedback.
Now, James says he's not going to use JMRI. I'm curious, James, if you're going to use like iTrain or Train Controller or something else, or are you just not going to use any computerized interface? Mark says, rip my
about
pants.
Putting things in your pocket, I have a habit of sticking this in my pocket or my utility belt, and this is the emergency off button.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many times at a show, all of a sudden everything stops and everybody's looking around and, yeah, it's me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because whoever turns it off, that's the person who has to turn it back on from your throttle.
Oh, right. Oh, interesting. I'm going to try and get everyone said it's still that new TCS throttle. I'm going to try and get my hands on the 50, not the 100, but the 50, and kind of I got the DT602D because I have a T-track layout. And I thought, how awesome would it be to have, the two dials on the one throttle? Because you can put one locomotive on the one throttle and the other locomotive on the other throttle. And I was like, how great is that for T-track? But man, like the size of a UT throttle, a utility throttle, I don't mind having to dial in that second locomotive. I like the size of the smaller throttle. I like that there's a switch for the brake too. I love that you just throw the switch to the middle and it brakes. You don't have to roll the dial down. That said, I think the TCS 50 that I get, I would get a what's it called? I would get the potentiometer version. There's a good question for people. Potentiometer or what's the other one called?
Encoder. I prefer encoders. They're a lot more accurate.
They're more accurate, but where's zero?
When it gets to zero. I also on my controller there's a stop button that just takes everything to 0. It's right above the dial. You just hit stop. Everything
Yep.
stops.
I got one too. It's red.
Yeah, mine's red also.
It says
Well, but-
emergency stop.
Yeah, but emergency stop is different than applying the brake. What I'm talking about is on the UT6D, there's a 3-way toggle switch on the top, and when you switch it to the middle, you're applying the brakes of the locomotive. You're not doing an e-stop, so it's different.
So
Yeah.
on mine, mine, like I said, mine's got both the buttons. So on this side here, it's got increase fast, decrease fast. So if
Yep.
I need to stop on a dime, I'll hit that like several times because it'll drop it like every 10 speed steps.
Yeah, and I do that with the encoders. Like I'll just if I need to stop it, I just keep turning it. Right? Like I don't even look
Yeah.
at the throttle to know where I'm at. I just keep turning it, and I assume if you turn it, enough times, it'll eventually get to 0.
I just hit the stop button.
Yeah.
Because it's basically the same thing as saying speed 0. At least from the MRC controller, it is.
So, Derek, we're getting on my pet peeve again, but don't get the Digitrax command station. Get a DigiKeys command station, and you get Wi-Fi and USB and a network connection, an IP connection.
Ethernet,
So-
yeah.
Yeah. Iron Planet recommends the encoder version. I'm gonna have to talk to Ryan about that. I'm kind of curious about that. Oh, interesting. I didn't even think about that. If you do an emergency stop, are you killing power to the track? Or are you actually telling all of the locomotives that are currently running to stop?
So on the MRC controller, the stop button just stops the one selected loco, and it sets
Same.
it to speed 0. It doesn't.
Which is what the Z21 controller does also.
Yeah, it doesn't kill power at all. It just
Yeah, same with NCE.
You do not lose back EMF with the DR5000. Yeah, Sparky.
back EMF is in the decoder, not the command station.
Sparky still has not set up his proto throttle, apparently. Drew Dudes, it's a stop command for the locomotives, at least for NCE. Yeah, so I guess when you do I don't know the answer now that I'm thinking about it. With the Digitrax throttle, with the new throttles, you can hit the stop button 3 times. The first time is like stop, the second time is like a different stop, and then the third time is like, I think everything shuts down, which I think it shuts off track power if you hit it 3 times.
Our
Yeah.
hand throttle, when you hit the stop, it kills everything. Everything
Edward
stops.
Cady saying 0 miles per hour is when it hits the floor, which unfortunately I've experienced.
Absolute 0.
So Sparky, I've got some locomotives that I programmed the momentum into, and if I hit the emergency stop button, it stops them instantly.
Yeah. I have
Oh,
the same
really?
thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so like I have a couple of my locos set up where if I turn the dial down, they slow down slowly. But if I hit stop, they stop on a dime.
Yeah, that's how mine are.
Well, you're in N scale, Roy, so even if it took 20 feet to stop, it'd still be stopping on a dime.
No. I have some of those BLI locos with the momentum, the default momentum.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
You get
Yep.
them up to full speed and then
Yep.
turn them all the way down, and they keep going for like 10 seconds
Yeah.
until they slow down.
Yeah, Dan, I wouldn't worry about cheaper options. I mean, if you want cheap, you can get Easy DCC. If you want cheap but a little better, you can get DCC++ EX. But you know,
You do get what you pay for, though. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind.
that is true. With DCC++ EX, you do get a lot more than you get with NC or Digitrax. So that is correct, Jason.
You just got to program it yourself.
I know that's the thing. I talk about this. The Motorman by ISC back here. I have a Scalar Engineering Motorman. It's $99. I can buy an Arduino. I can buy a motor shield. I can. Yeah, Joey, and you went to HO scale, so you don't have very good decision making skills. You were right on. You were an N scaler. So
Joey, I got your back, man. Don't listen to Heath. He don't know what he's talking about.
good night, James. See you later.
You got to get G scale so your passenger cars are a nice good size you can handle.
Jeez. Even that's all of my G scale stuff is like LGB, so it's all small. Except I do have actually.
My dining car even has a full interior in it, so if you'd like, sit down and get something to eat, you can.
If you're a tiny person.
Yeah. Mark, I agree.
100% agree, Mark. I've been doing a lot of research on it.
Yeah,
and I think that for starting out with DCC, the thing I learned is you should spend the money on the throttle that you like and is comfortable for you. Because the command station, that's the same for all of them for the most part. It's the controller that you're going to operate that is important to get something you like.
Yeah.
And if you're not very technical, then it's also good advice to get one that your friends have, because then they can help you.
Why is NC Wireless not cheap?
That's what I want to know, because I've got NCE Wireless.
Do you have NCE Wi-Fi or NCE Wireless? The NCE proprietary wireless, like that little base thing with the thing, or do you have the Wi-Fi tracks Wi-Fi? Hey, we were just talking about DCC++ EX. Now that is NCE specific. Is that correct? That's not Wi-Fi, right?
No, but it's wireless. It's the RB02.
Right. And how much is that device?
Mine came with my Pro Cab when I bought it. The only person I know that has bought it separately is Robert from the Flying Crow, because he's got the NCE Power Cab, and we actually got him to hook it up to his Power Cab without the Smart Booster.
Oh, well, there you go. So what's the? Sorry, 1 second. My computer was logging in quickly, and then it came to a screeching halt. Oh, here we go. What's the part number on that thing, Jason?
RB02.
RB02.
Yep.
Isn't Digitrax Wireless its own thing too? Their own proprietary.
It is. Yeah. I'll compare that price in a second.
That's why
Drew is exactly right. It's radio. It's radio frequency, or RF. It's not Wi-Fi.
So it looks like there's two different versions. There's one for 130 and one for 150. Looks like the 150 one comes with a cable. Is that the only difference?
Maybe.
Oh, wait. The one is an RPT one and the one is an RB02.
Yeah,
so an RB02 is, let's say, 148. And then a UR93, which is the latest Digitrax one, is $93.23. So, and this is not the Wi-Fi module. That's the, that's the Digitrax proprietary. The LNWI is $60, which is the Wi-Fi module. And let's look up the Wi-Fi tracks.
But the Wi-Fi module doesn't let you talk to the hand controllers because they only use the radio thing, right? From Digitrax.
Correct.
So like the 602 or the UT6 don't have Wi-Fi.
Correct. So the 60 the sorry, I'm laughing at Dex is saying it's expensive, but that's because he does DCC++ EX. The UR93 is for the DT602D and the UT6D. The LNWI is the Wi-Fi specific module. So which is the... So it looks like the Wi-Fi tracks Wi-Fi module is $79. Is that correct, or is there a cheaper Wi-Fi tracks version?
Don't get me lying.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's a Wi-Fi gateway. I'm guessing this would be the NCE version of the LNWI. Yeah, I get. Yeah, I like the system I like, but all of the systems are good systems.
They've each got their perks and they've each got their
Yeah.
flaws. I've had Digitrax in the past. That's actually the first DCC system I had, and I went to NCE, and I like NCE better, and that's just my personal preference. And my sole personal preference wasn't on operating the trains; it was programming. Because with Digitrax, you had to use that hexadecimal conversion, and it confused a lot of people.
Yeah,
Where
you don't have to do
NCE
any of that anymore. That's
No.
You don't do
Yeah.
that anymore.
And
Yeah.
so with NCE, it's just like, oh, I need to put this at a CV value of 114. Okay. CV 53, 114. Bam, I'm done.
And a couple people are saying this too, and this is a big reason I went to DigiKeys was because the club that I was looking to join was Digitrax.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that was LocoNet compatible. That was kind of the requirement. Because I wanted a throttle that I could take to the club and work at home as well. This was before the TCS 100 throttle, so that wasn't really an option. But the club was Digitrax. Of course, now the other club that I went to is an NCE club. So now I'm kind of... yeah. I could get a proto throttle, right? I mean, I guess that's the other option. A proto... Well, I'm curious about that. There you go. So here's a conversation. The proto throttle is a $300 throttle. The TCS 100 is a $300 throttle.
Oh, if that's the case, I'm going proto throttle all the way. But I'm also
now-
running operations too, so
Right. Somebody needs to verify whether that's apples to apples, though. It used to be you had to buy a $99 interface for a proto throttle. I don't know if that's true anymore. I don't know which, I don't know if it'll connect to something else, but I guess I'm curious if a proto throttle and because a proto throttle is basically universal.
yeah.
Oh, there you go. It's $399 plus a $99 interface. Okay, never mind. So it's a lot more expensive. So it's $500 versus $300.
I'd still go with it.
So a little bit what Sparky's saying as well is a pet peeve of mine. Also, Digitrax has videos out to help set up and use it. NC has no videos out. So many options to use. Digitrax and NC Corporation, not just people doing videos. A big reason I went with what I went is because once I found the Iron Planet Hobbies YouTube channel, which, the guy's got videos on NC, on Digitrax, on everything. Yeah, Lynn, if you gotta go catch the dinner before it gets thrown in the trash, don't.
I'm hearing sounds from the kitchen. She, good about it, but after so long, it's got to be midnight your place, isn't it?
You know,
12:03.
An hour ago, you said, let's start wrapping this up and go around with everybody. We got to 3 people, and then we sidetracked for an hour.
Hey, it's
not even
like
Sunday.
yesterday.
There you go. So you can buy 10 $400 proto throttles, for $4,000 and then only have to spend $99 on the one interface. So, yeah,
And
It's
we need to get Andrew's update before he has to leave.
Andrew, you wanna see? I can go. I can go down this conversation for a while, so you might want to jump in before I. Yeah, a UT6D is $125. If I can buy a UT6D for $125, I can buy 3 of them for the price of a proto throttle. So I could have 3 people come over and operate on my layout. Sparky, the other thing I have an issue with, speaking about NCE and their information, is their website.
Oh, the website's
NCE's
horrible.
website is horrible. How can I trust a company that is in the technology space to put out good technology when their website looks like it's not even from 1990?
I could say the same thing about Digitrax. Their website is pretty bad too. They have a lot of information there, but the arrangement and the navigating it is kind of crap.
I would argue that all model railroad websites, for the most part, are terrible. But NCE's is a special kind of terrible.
They're especially bad. By the way, next time you talk to Ryan at Iron Planets, tell him to upgrade his e-commerce site, because, man, it's hard to find anything on that site.
So
you have to know what the name is and search for the exact name to find anything.
So I know Ryan watches some of my videos, so I'm gonna say this carefully, but he did update his website about a year ago, and it's much better now than it was a year ago. But yeah, Train World just upgraded their website, and I feel like it's terrible. The new one is no better than the old one. I just think it's a thing.
Yankee Dabbler is also horrible. Their search, you search for N scale something, and it says, "Did you mean N style?" And I'm like, "What?"
I know. Dex says the DCCEX website is really nice. I hear that those developers keep it up to date. For those of you that don't know, Dex is one of the main developers of that. So, Digitrax has a lot of support online in their IO groups. Yeah, they have a very active group IO.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of info on Digitrax, but I usually have to find it via Googling it instead of navigating.
Yeah. When I did the video and I bricked my throttle, all these people, there were several people that were like, "Why didn't you just follow the manual?" And I'm like, "I did follow the manual. The manual said to hook up your LocoNet booster, or LocoNet command station, or whatever. It never said like it has to be this specific digit. Anyway, people that write manuals, God bless them, but a lot of these outfits don't seem to spend a lot of time and money on their websites' online documentation. And honestly, it's like, do they have to? We're in such a niche market that, go to, trying to think, like Tam Valley websites, like terrible. Logic Rail's website's terrible, but yet we'll put up with that because, a Tam Valley frog juicer is kind of about the best thing out there, right? So it's like you put up with it.
The one site, model train related site that I do like for the most part is Microtrains. Like their website is relatively nice. I mean, it has some nitpicks, but it's relatively.
It's got some issues though. There are times where I go to microtrains.com and I can't get into the website to save my life. But if you search a Microtrains part number and go in through like that way, then it's fine.
I've never had that problem. I just go straight to the site and navigate.
Soundtracks has a good website too, in my opinion.
Ooh. Sparky's trying to get it. Sorry, were you saying Soundtracks has a good website?
Yeah. It's fairly easy to navigate. You can easily find what you need, and
Well,
it's modern looking.
Here's the thing about the Soundtracks website that I think is kind of beneficial for it is all they really sell are decoders.
Yes.
So by keeping such a narrow focus, it makes it easier to develop a website around that.
Well, now they are. Well, they
focus.
sell more than decoders because Soundtracks also owns Blackstone models.
Yes, but they keep them completely separate. Like if you don't know that they have the two companies,
They're in the
you
same
would have
building.
no idea that they're connected.
Yeah, but they're in the same building.
I know, but
And
Manny
as,
says
as
it's late. Manny, we've been going for how long now?
3 hours.
3 hours.
And
Yeah,
almost.
I'd say you're late, Manny.
and as a Soundtracks authorized dealer, I'm also an authorized Blackstone models dealer.
Yeah.
And I didn't even sign up for that portion. It just came with it.
Andrew looks
So-
like he's going to fall asleep.
Who does?
Andrew. He's just like sitting there zoned out.
See, the problem with Andrew is he's G scale, and we're talking about DCC, so we're losing him, unfortunately.
DCC exists in the G scale world. I don't use it.
Well, they have their own thing, right?
There are people that do regular DCC and G scale. MTH always had their DCS system, I believe,
Yeah.
in G. But most of us in G scale run radio control.
Yeah.
Because you're doing dead rail these days, right? You're moving to dead rail, so it's radio? Or
Not
no?
everybody. I run a combination of it. I just run a fixed 18 volts to my track for my power to, for juice for the engine, but I still run radio control,
Oh, okay.
which,
I-
whether dead rail the other way, what's nice about that, you don't have to worry about a lot of the things you guys are talking about. You take your locomotives and your throttle with you and you go run.
So, Drew, the answer to that question is no.
Jason, since you're a licensed engineer, yeah, you nailed it. So Edward, real quick, yes, if you use JMRI or whatever, you can use a PR4 and you can control, I believe it's 700 milliamps, maybe 800 milliamps. So just make sure it's not a big beefy decoder, but yes, absolutely. I have a comment / question about Tony's Trains Exchange that I've got a little bit of an issue with. I really like DCC. I'm going to totally screw this up. What are PSX1 breakers? Who makes those? It's not DCC Concepts. It's DCC Specialties. So I really wanted to get some PSX breakers because I heard they're the best in the business. And every time I would look for PSS breakers, you'd keep getting forwarded to Tony's Trains Exchange, and I kept going, no, like I don't want to go to a reseller. I want to go to the manufacturer's website for DCC Specialties. But I couldn't find a DCC Specialties website. And then I was looking for what are the brass cleaning cars called? The CMX cleaning cars. And I wanted to look something up. This is actually a question Manny had asked me, and I was trying to look up the CMX cars, and I'm like, I don't want to keep getting redirected to Tony's Trains Exchange. I want to go to the manufacturer of the CMX train cars websites. Guess what? Tony's Trains and Things, or Tony's Trains, whatever it's called, is the DCC Specialties manufacturer and the CMX manufacturer. But there's nowhere that they say we manufacture these products. From their website, it just looks like they're another retailer of those products, just like anybody else is a retailer of those. Like, if I go to Iron Planet Hobbies and look up a DCC Specialties PSX1, and I go to Tony's Trains Exchange and look up a DCC Specialties PSX1, they look the same. There is nothing that indicates if I have a question, I can go to Tony's Trains and email them, and I'm emailing the manufacturer. That's my rant on Tony's Trains. Train Exchange.
My rant is, why the fuck are those CMX cars so damn expensive?
It's not. It's thick. It's like really heavy.
So why don't
Yeah.
they just
Like
make them
solid
out of
brass.
something cheaper and
I've got
sell
this
it to me
Cleverline
for-
car that I hate. Why doesn't somebody knock off the CMX car? Is it like patented, like in some way? Tony's
I
Trains
don't have
Exchange didn't initially develop. Tony's Trains Exchange didn't develop the CMX car. They bought it when the guy didn't want to manufacture it anymore. So, like, why can't somebody knock it off? I don't.
I mean, you can't say it's because it's brass, because the brass metal is super, super cheap, and the car is super simple. It's not like a manufacturing marvel or anything like that.
Yeah, so I guess the Sparky's heading out, by the way. So is there a license on the CMX cleaning car that prevents anybody from doing that style of cleaning car, where it's some car that you put liquid in? It could be a box car instead of a tank car with a thing on the bottom. That's a great question, Drew. I'm gonna guess not here, but I don't know that for sure.
See,
Well,
Does it
Andrew.
say on the bottom?
That's what I'm looking
gotta-
at right now.
I gotta run.
Bye,
here. It's
Andrew.
been, great
All right,
hanging out
Andrew,
with you
before,
guys
before
tonight.
you run, what do you got going on? What's new? Why should
What do
people come to Mr. Pictovid's channel?
Well, like I said, this Sunday coming up, keep in mind it's weather permitting since I'm outside, but the 15th, I'm thinking probably around like 2 p.m. I'm going to do a live stream running some trains out on the layout. And
Which is the G-scale garden layout for people
Yes.
that don't know.
and then probably weekend after this, I'll have a new video I'll be putting up. I visited the Franklin Park Conservatory and Botanical Gardens in Columbus, Ohio, a couple weekends ago. They have a large garden railway display set up in their botanical gardens right now. I took some video of. That's what I got going on right now.
Awesome. Andrew,
Cool.
thanks for hanging out. One of these days, we'll talk more about the big stuff that's up there.
So, to answer Pappy's question, I think it's
Been
machined.
there, guys.
Thanks,
I
Andrew.
gotta run.
See you, Andrew.
Take care, Andrew.
Dex says he's in Ohio. Dex, we're not asking where you were made. We're asking where the CMX cars are made.
So the trucks are AccuRail.
Interesting.
The couplers are Katie.
Yeah. That
The
makes sense.
wheels look like either Athearn or Walther's metal wheels. Other
But it
than that,
doesn't say made in
I
USA
see-
anywhere on it.
I see no other markings on here. But I'm gonna hold this up close. This, and this are all three separate pieces. So I'm thinking it's machined. I would open it, but it still has denatured alcohol in it. So I don't want all that to leak out.
Do they make it in? Do they make it in N scale, or is it just
Yes.
HO?
Yeah.
HO and N.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
at the HO one right now, trying to see if there's anything.
So, and then they supply this stuff here, this little felt fabric. And this is what it looks like after you used it a couple of times.
So they say do not use fast solvents like nail polish remover, lacquer thinner, acetone, or MEK.
Nope. I used denatured alcohol.
99%.
Not IPA, it's denatured. So,
Oh,
Yeah, it probably has rubber seals between each of the three sections that hold it together, and some of those solvents would eat away those seals.
that, and I think it's soldered together too.
Probably
Like,
brazed. Yeah.
It's really solid.
It's
Um,
funny that they're comparing it to other track cleaning cars. They say tank type with pad dispenser IHC, International Hobby Corporation, sells one for about $20. The car is plastic.
Hey, if you'll give me a second, I'll go weigh it and tell you how heavy it is.
Well, you've got liquid in yours. This
Well,
says the HO weighs about 1 pound and the N weighs about 8 ounces. The O weighs 3 pounds.
Oh, they make it an O scale.
CMX is guaranteed to clean your track safely and effectively.
It does work.
It doesn't
What's
say
the
anything
one
here.
that they have that has the big brass roller in it, and you wrap the material around it?
Ain't that
Mark
the one
thinks
you
there's
had,
an
Heath?
S-scale one. Yeah, that's what I have. Is that it's Clever Line, I think.
Yeah.
Center line, yes.
Center
But
line.
weren't you
center
having
line, yeah.
like derail issues with it though?
Yeah, the
Well, I have no
So-
problem. I modified mine and put a caboose on it.
this little center thing, it gets bound up and then it derails the car.
Maybe
If
an
it
end,
worked
but not
better,
an
I
X.
would modify it and put a caboose on it.
That's what I did. But I
So-
make shows, so maybe that's the difference why you're having trouble.
So one of the nice things about the CMX that you can use with, you can control the flow of how fast it, drips out your, whatever you're using. And then
Drew
as
Dude
far
says
as like,
CMX cars are made in the USA. That's kind of cool to know.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of, I guess, explains the price. I hate to say it.
Yeah. I was gonna
but
say
like
that's
if you got locomotives pushing it, it'll actually not just clean your track, but it also helps clean the wheels of your locomotives.
Here's
Yeah,
an
'cause-
interesting one too. I'm reading the sort of manual or whatever. It says, "Do not leave the CMX clean machine sitting on the rails, as the residual solvents in the pad can soften or melt plastic ties."
Yes.
Oh, Manny's got the Tomex cars. Have anybody seen those? With the little vacuums in them?
I've seen them on eBay and they were too expensive. So I said, no thanks.
Doesn't Sparky have one?
The Tomex? Maybe.
I think so.
Thought those are only in scale.
I thought. Yeah, I think. I thought
There's
it was.
there's an
actually,
H.
too, though.
Okay, it might not be Tomex, but there's a HO scale vacuum car out there as well.
This one's
Item
kinda
can
weird.
be returned.
Oh, Lynn changed it to a water car.
No, I got this off of, I don't, who knows where I got it from. But it's got the, this unscrews on top, the fluid goes in there, comes out, there's a little felt thing that turns as it goes. But I don't use it because this gets caught on rail joiners real easy and on turnouts.
Mm.
But I have no idea where. I get stuff all the time, either donation or bid on what they call lots on eBay, which is somebody's just cleaning out their garage and here's a whole lot of stuff and you bid $5 on it and no telling what you get.
I just found basically the same car that Andrew was holding up that he said he got for like $40 or something at a train show. I just found it for $140.
Hey, good deal. Buy two of them.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Guys, I'm going to sign off.
Okay.
It's been very
I think I am
enjoyable.
as well, Lynn. If you're leaving, I'm leaving.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean to be a
Because
party pooper, you know.
I got to go walk the dog.
It has been almost 3 hours of streaming
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
It
It's
says
3 hours and
actually,
8 minutes.
it shows 3 hours on my end.
Yeah.
3 hours and 1 minute.
3 hours and 1 minute 35 seconds. So yeah, I think it's a good time to end. Thank you for everyone that came up on screen, chatted along, listened to my rants.
Enjoyed it. It's fun.
Watch me beat
Let's,
Tim with Toolman Taylor.
Let's do it again, and I appreciate people switching times with me. I know this 9:30 time, we lost a lot of the UK
Better-
people. But unfortunately, this time is what's going to work out better for me. We probably won't do 3-hour streams all the time, but for the first one, this was good. So yeah,
This time works better for me. So
yeah, for
really.
all the California people, and Hyde's just coming in as well. So we'll maybe start catching people coming around on the backside.
Yeah.
But yeah, have a great night, everyone, and I will see you all again, hopefully on Friday. Friday's show is going to be great. Friday at 11:30. It's going to be a good show. So I'll see everybody then.
Okay. All right.
Bye. Take care.
good night, everyone.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.